We should be live now.
We're gonna have to get you a
Hello.
backpack.
Yep. Just went live.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Internet. Time
You're
to do some
lucky we're
shilling.
here, because we almost died from laughter.
No, that was just you. Everyone else
That
just laughed.
No, I was not
No, I would say I was thinking whenever I was down here laughing my ass off.
Wait, so you guys were just gonna leave me and Nug again?
Yeah, apparently.
Alright. So I just called this Magic Town Magic Problems because it sounded accurate.
Probably, yeah.
But if anyone has better titles, just let me know.
I never do.
Okay, we had the crunch for a minute, but that's cleared up right away. It was mostly on Tori's side, which is odd.
Hello, am I crunchy still?
Sound fine to me.
Yeah, the app that I use for the audio to separate
You're good.
it from desktop and stuff, it's just like they haven't updated since February, which can mean they've given up, but it also can mean they're working on a major update because like I've checked other updates and they've spent like 6 months between. So I'm waiting for that update. I'm pretty sure it's that rather than anything on my computer that's causing the problem.
Hey, where's the stupid art for this? Why
But
isn't
yes,
it showing
overall,
up?
audio is fine on streams. We are good on that end.
Why isn't it showing it to me?
I will now mute so that I don't have to hear myself.
I mean, it's pretty rude of D&D Beyond to not include my halfling types art on their page.
That is rude.
Like, come on, bro.
What is your halfling type?
The Lotus Den. Yeah, there we go.
Is that a
I don't know if that's how you say it.
is that a
They're like the forest halflings.
Ah.
Okay. Let's see if I can find images of it. Which book is that from? Does anybody know?
I actually don't know. I was wondering about that.
Which book
Wild
is what?
Mount.
What form? Which one?
Wildmount? I don't think I have that book. Okay, I found the freaking art, finally.
There we go. Ready for people to shill?
Oh yeah, I gotta do that too.
Yes.
Ah, so many things. It's okay, I can sleep most of the campaign. Not me.
It'll just be a
But
character.
my character will sleep most of the campaign. I'll stay
That's
awake.
fun. That just means if you ever want to lay down, you're just, in character.
Yep.
She just falls asleep at the
Yeah, I'm just like,
at the chair or something.
We could stick Ada in the basket that Torque uses as a backpack and just, cart her around.
probably, yeah.
Hey, Maxie.
Hello, Maxie. How are you today? Where is it?
Now I get to check my to-do list.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
okay, Discord. Let me find the message. Oh wait. Oh, there it is.
I wish I was better at paying attention to my to-do list.
I told you to look at it.
I know, and I did.
It's Twitter. Okay.
I just posted there. I don't need to post again. Bless you, by the way.
Someone sneezed. I didn't hear it. Bless you.
Nah, Nug muted himself, but I heard it
Oh, you heard it.
from downstairs
I'm far away.
with my door closed.
Man, it's a loud sneeze. Powerful. Was it just one? It's bad luck.
No, it was multiple.
Okay, that's good for him. Bad for you, Aunt, but good for him.
Why is it bad for me?
Because you said you had only one sneeze earlier.
I mean, I had 6 earlier, and then I sneezed once before this we
Okay.
went live.
I think I'm not
Wasn't that-
going to do a grandma head shape. I'm just going to do a normal head shape and make her more grandma-ish. 'Cause
Grandma
these,
head shape.
these grandma head shapes are weird. Like,
Drawing
okay.
is hard.
Well, yeah, that too, but like, look at these grandmas. Okay? Oh, you cannot see them at all.
Okay.
But like,
yeah.
look at their
Oh
heads.
man, those are the cartoonish and like.
But I mean, like, even this lady's head is like kind of weird shape
Mhm.
to draw. It's obviously a realistic head shape, but like,
Takes a little practice.
I don't draw like that.
Okay,
All right,
that's done.
I can do this. I need my different.
Both? Okay, that took a little too long. Every D&D group has the same 4 members. Sad cat eating pizza, flaming alligator, raccoon in dress, and I don't even know what that is. Is that a screaming possum with a bunch of baby? No, that's
I am
beer.
that raccoon in a dress.
That's beer.
It's pretty accurate, honestly.
Who's the sad cat eating pizza?
That would be Kale.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Obviously.
What was the question?
Who's the sad?
I was too busy chilling.
Who's the sad cat eating pizza?
Oh yeah, that's Kale.
Yeah, like who else
Yeah.
could it
Yeah,
be?
and then the flaming lizard. Who else is that?
Yeah, it's like really on point.
A flaming alligator. That could be either
flaming
Zangetsu
alligator.
or Zangetsu
It's
or
like it's Merrick and Sengetsu together.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
that
the
gets a few
OTP
sessions
that I
ago.
ship.
So what you're saying is Shioran is the raccoon in a dress.
No, that's me.
I thought you were the screaming possum with beer cans.
No, I'm the raccoon in a dress.
Okay, so who's the screaming possum in a trash can with beer cans?
Well, looking at you.
Definitely Shauna.
It's it is definitely Shauna, but
Yeah.
Okay, so then what is Shioran?
Shioran's like from the other meme. Oh gosh, what is it? It's like, oh, let me see if I can find it really quick. I know my friend sent it to me the other day.
She was a person arriving to the room with pizza and seeing like everything on fire and people going crazy.
You're not
Let me see if
wrong.
I can find it. Okay, where
I
is it
love
at?
that
Where is it
meme.
at? I talk to my friend a lot, so
I'm saving this meme.
I gotta see if I can find it. It's like this thing where it's like, so what do you do? It's like, I kill a bunch of people, I blah blah blah. And then what's your job? I make good decisions. Doesn't seem very helpful. He's like, no, he's our most important team member.
I remember that one actually.
Yeah, I can't find it right now, but
Camera movement. Watch yourselves.
Ooh. Oh my god. That noise.
Now that was the manliest noise I've ever heard in my entire life, Ant.
Imagine it, hearing it every day for other reasons.
Oh,
Oh my.
I'm gonna leave you all with that. I'm not gonna elaborate.
Oh yeah, here I found it. So what do you all bring to the team? I can fly. I shoot lasers. I make good life decisions. That's not really a superpower. Oh no, trust us. She's my most important member.
Okay. I should probably finish the shilling and do the Twitter thing.
Body references, so I can make an old lady. Because I'm not that good at drawing. I need a reference. Okay. Old.
There is nothing wrong with using references.
Oh no, I know. I just can't like.
Actually, I just
I
had.
can't body shapes like.
I just-
People is not my area.
Mhm.
I don't enjoy drawing people.
What do you enjoy drawing?
Anything else, literally. I like drawing weird animals. If I could combine them all.
Hmm.
I do that a
you're
lot.
one of those avatar animal creator types.
Yeah. I have like a big list of animals. Sometimes I just randomize them. Just combine them together. I think that's super fun. You never know what you're gonna get.
So I had an idea for how I'm going to do it on Twitter, and I'm just going to commandeer your post and the NotProVOs Twitter, Tori.
Okay. That's cool.
That way I get
Oh,
the
here
link
we go.
and
This is a perfect body reference.
I messed up.
Oh no, that's someone else's. I can't use that.
Let's see how that looked. I bet it looked like crap. It totally did.
I
Alright.
need to actually look up child references so I can get the body proportions.
Mm.
Because I'm so little.
Okay. All my shilling is done and stuff.
I did mine as well. Oh my god, I'm totally using this reference. This is so funny.
The heck? That's not what I wanted. Stop. Why? Roll 20Y. It decided it didn't want to stop zooming when I let go of the button, and just like when I move my mouse, it's just like zooming in and out. It's a little disconcerting. Okay, so how is everyone today?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's been a busy last few weeks.
Yeah, I know Zangetsu was a little loopy.
I'm whacked out on pain meds, and also I'm still in pain.
That
because they're
sucks.
starting to wear off because I only took half a dose.
Took the pain meds, but still in pain. Story of my life.
All right, is
And it sucks.
everyone
I
ready
feel
to
for you, bro.
every-
Start?
everyone ready to start?
I forgot to get more water, so I'm gonna do that
I
quick.
didn't even bring my water.
Yeah.
Oh my god, go hydrate.
You guys have like a few minutes if you want to do that while he does the recap.
I'll just get it at the break.
All right. Oh, I need to close this.
Ow. It's really bright on my face. There we go.
All right, we're ready for a recap.
All right. So, started last session with you guys inside of the quail being attacked by some randomly summoned fire elementals. They didn't really seem to have the intention of hurting anyone unless they tried to stop them. Their intention seemed to be to damage the place or straight up burn it to the ground. Seemed to be their purpose. Merrick was able to speak with a couple of them, and they stated that they were summoned there against their will and were told to damage the place. But they couldn't be stopped unless you ended them, which you all successfully did. You were then met by the mayor of the town, Raul Irtranic, and he brought his entourage there to help alleviate the damage at the place, to help out Grover, as the Quill is a big business area for this small village, very popular. He then invited all of you to come with him because of the introduction letter that was given to his niece that you all had met previously. Followed him back to the Irtranic mansion, had a conversation with him about if this introduction letter was legitimate, which you guys corroborated it. He stated that he would allow you access to the resources that the Arcanics school can provide, but he does require some compensation in return in the form of agreeing to be essentially security for an upcoming event at the Arcanics College. That is the Trial of the Ninefold Paths. And it is an event for the outside of game, very Tri-Wizard tournament type of situation. There are wizards from everywhere in Corvair. They're going to be coming and competing in the all separated out into the 9 different schools of magic, and then there also is another one that is set off for people who don't necessarily have a specific school, and he would like you to make sure that things aren't disturbed. He did talk about a specific group of individuals that have been causing problems recently, and wanting to make sure that they don't cause any problems during this event. You guys all agreed. Were given rooms to in his mansion to sleep or rest for the rest of the day, and then from there, you guys had some conversations and then went to sleep. So we come back once everyone gets back to everyone waking up the next morning.
I wake up bright and early, 4 a.m.
Yeah. Early bird.
Early bird gets all the worms, as they say.
But yes, it is a bright and sunny day, and you guys are currently in your rooms. So, once sun gets back, we can start. Unless anyone has anything specific that is here.
Not in my room. I did want to have to talk to the I just had his name. Raulo. Yeah.
No, that's not his name, of course. It's Rattle.
Rattle.
Yes, old Rattle.
But yeah, I had a question for him, but that's not gonna go in our room.
The light was so bad on his curtain there for a moment, I thought it was on fire. I glanced and was like, "Oh God, is this house on fire?"
It's got
Is
a
this house on
reflection on
fire?
something that does make it look like it's on fire. That thing over there.
It'll help a little.
Mm. Just keep
I'll
your
say
arm
when
up
you're
like
over
that
there.
and you'll black out the light completely.
Mhm.
Alright.
The great reason why I got the camera so close. Alright, did I miss anything important while we were waiting on me?
It
Just
is.
a recap.
It is the recap, and it is currently the morning of the next day as you guys all wake up in your rooms. Unless anyone had any specific they wanted to do during the night or wanted to do anything in the morning before everyone else wakes up.
If I can catch Torque, now I didn't remember, but if I can catch Torque before sleepy time, I might dump a bunch of what's it called? Lesser restorations on his tongue.
Torque is gonna stay up for a while into the night, doing Torque things.
So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and do that to see if I can get his flavors, his taste buds back.
All right. So yeah, you go and how many are you putting into this?
Actually, now that I have looked at my spell sheet, which I should have done earlier, I do not have any of that level. Sorry. So I guess I don't do that.
All right. Then the next morning, the one that is up first is Ada.
Yep. I'm just gonna go outside.
Step outside, and it, as I said, is a bright, sunny morning. You can see the shining crystal surface of the lake out past the edge of the village, and you can see above you the numerous floating towers of Arconics, good ways up in the sky, and you can see little dots of what you can sort of tell with your slightly cataract eyes.
I was gonna say I can't see that well. Like I
Little
have
dots.
like probably a magnifying glass so I can see things close up. Not a 1,000 gold one, but just like a normal one.
You
Because
see
aren't
the
those
little,
things super expensive for some reason?
well, yeah, it's tempered glass, but it's not too hard to come by. Something you could at least,
I stole it.
yeah. But you see little dots kind of zipping through the air, going in between the large structures that are floating
Is there
very far
any
from the
like
sky.
trees nearby this manor?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go to them and just like sit at the base of them.
You head down the kind of the staircase that lead up to the front door, and it leads into kind of a small garden area that resides out front of the mansion itself. And there are a number of shaded willow trees that are out there. Big, large branches that are bigger than you are tall, that kind of stretch in these long curves up and around and let down these long branches that kind of just very gently swaying in the breeze.
I'll go by those.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna chill there until people wake up.
All right. Slowly, the rest of you come to consciousness as the morning continues, and it is a nice respite from the last week or so of your life. But yeah, you all wake up unaccosted, rested, comfy beds, Torque, this is especially weird for you.
Torque curled up on the bed, kind of like a dog. It's the only way he was gonna fit. Also, question. You said that they offered replacement clothing after the fire had singed most of ours, correct?
Yes, they would provide clothing as best they could.
Mhm.
For you specifically, it would be more clothing to kind of like mix
Yeah,
and match.
I was thinking like they offered him a pair of pants and he looked at them, looked at his legs, and just slit down the sides to make a new loincloth.
Makes sense.
Okay. Just for my own mental image.
All right. Merrick ends up getting up and is ready to roll when everyone else is.
All right, so like I said, I'd like to talk to Raulo. If he's there.
So you head downstairs and kind of look around for him, and you inevitably run into one of his housekeepers that informs you after you ask that he has already taken his leave towards Argonix.
Okay.
And if you need him, you'd have to find him there.
All right. I'll wait until.
But he has left you all a notice that when you are all ready to go to the stables here in Argonix, and you will be provided passage to the school.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to bring that message to everyone else.
Inevitably, you all end up together, most likely somewhere. The breakfast is offered by the staff there. It is a nice spread of all sorts of things: eggs, bread, fruit, meats of different kinds, breakfast meat, sausages, biscuits, and gravy, and a nice spread that is definitely put out for you guests.
Ayla is going to look upon the feast and mildly judge it.
Smells good.
That is some mild judgment right there.
Torque dives into the eggs.
They're well done. Lightly salted, lightly peppered.
Oh yeah, beforehand, I'm going to go ahead and give him a... this time I can actually do it. I'm going to give him a lesser restoration.
Oh, yeah. This time you can actually taste the eggs mostly. So
Excellent.
a little bit dull, but it's getting better.
Okay. No. I don't really have much to do. I just had a question for him, and that's all.
Yeah, they mentioned that. So,
Oh,
you all
Torque
each-
would be leaving Retribution's chest in the room.
Okay.
Because he has no need to haul that much gear around in civilization, more than likely. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I doubt he's going to be digging in the school in the sky.
I mean, him and you do you.
You never know. You're gonna regret that.
Torque suddenly decides to dig. Uh-oh, we're on the 3rd floor, and this is kind of hovering over nothing.
We fall to our deaths really quick.
That's the thing. If he digs the hole, does he then stay floating if something's holding up the rock? Is he suspended by the same force? Or when he
I
breaks
guess
the
we'll
rock,
have to find out. It's an experiment. I'm not willing to try personally, but I feel like one of you should be able to.
It's fine. If he falls, he'll take half damage. As long as he's got a bonus action.
rage right before he hit the ground.
The best plan. I did that some time ago. when I jumped off a mountain as a barbarian. It's hard to base jump without a parachute.
I had a player do that. He had a parachute. He just decided not to pull the fucking string when he landed,
Wow.
like an idiot. So I broke his legs.
So he broke his legs. That
But guess
dumb bitch.
And guess what? When they tried to use potions on him, it didn't fix his legs.
That won't be taken out of context.
Not at all.
So I broke his legs. Anyways.
I broke his legs. Just DM things.
Anyway, yes. So you all end up feasting, having your fill, whatever breakfast like or not like eat. And yeah, the Shorin tells you about that. Whenever you guys are ready, you guys can go to the stables and get a ride up to the school. So it's up to you guys what you want to do right now.
Well,
Torque has interest in getting to the school.
Let's get going.
what was that, Torque?
Torque has interest in getting to the school, so he's just kind of.
Yeah. Yes, Sheeran's kind of
let's
interested
go
too.
on.
Y'all head outside, seeing your new ally Ada down by the willow trees as you exit. What is it you are doing there?
I am going to be playing. What instruments do I play? I know I play a few of them.
Wait, if she was at the willow tree the whole time, did she not get breakfast?
Nope. I'm playing a flute.
Are you playing well?
Well, let's see. Where's my performance?
Well,
My
it's a lute
performance?
sized for her, so it's really a ukulele.
Well, I said flute, not lute,
Oh,
but
okay.
I do have a lute as well. But I do have a plus 13 on my performance, so I should do well.
Yeah, roll performance for me.
25.
Oh yeah, you guys were hearing this melody from inside the dining area. Not sure where it was coming from, but it was very, very pleasant. And now that you're outside, she is sitting underneath this massive weeping willow tree, playing this very well done song. One that none of you have heard before, but it is a very soothing melody that. And you also see around her there is a plethora of little birds and other animals that have kind of coalesced around the tree itself.
I'm a
As-
Disney princess.
Yep.
Oh, look at all the birds. He says softly.
Well, they aren't there anymore. Thanks for that.
Apparently softly isn't enough.
So, are we doing something? You've all left the house, finally.
Did you?
What time is it now?
They probably took like 20 minutes or so to eat, so.
Well, I
So
know,
figure-
but like, what time did they wake up?
Oh, if you woke up at 4, then yeah, they probably
8 or
probably
9.
woke up at about around
Oh,
there.
okay, I've been out here for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for so long. I feel it's time for a nap.
Give me a old person check to stand up.
Well, I have my cane, so that'll help me.
Advantage.
Okay.
Roll for arthritis.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, what do I use? Do I use
Wouldn't that be
athletics?
Constitution?
Yeah, Constitution check.
Okay, I'll do constitution. Okay, I passed that.
Granny's got arthritis.
You're like, wow, she's very dexterous. Because for some reason, I have a dexterity saving throw that's high. But yeah, I rolled a 17.
She
and I got a
stands up.
+4.
Stands up quite nimbly for a woman of her age. Yeah. So you guys collect yourselves and then head off into the town. The servant having given you the directions towards the stables. Once you get there, you weren't sure what you were expecting for your passage, but when you get there, you see fully well what he meant, as there are a number of large, magnificent beasts that are there. These creatures have large lion bodies that kind of from the back up to the front, but their front paws are actually giant eagle claws. And then the from the kind of chest area up is just feathers of these beautiful colors, all of them different. Some of them this rich brown. One of them has golden type feathers. The other one is just pure black. The other one has white with kind of stripes and spots along the feathers, and they're all magnificent beasts, and the reaches up to these large eagle heads and massive folded in wings. One of them kind of stretches out its wings at one point, and the wingspan is easily about 13, 15 feet wide from tip to tip. Massive, massive creatures. And there's a number of people, stable hands at the moment, that are currently taking care of them. They all have saddles on them, and yeah, you are looking at a bunch of griffins.
Oh, are these the griffy things we saw yesterday? I don't think they were actually like on the ground last time we saw them.
Yeah, it looks like it.
They're such beautiful creatures.
They kind of paw back and forth, kind of scratching the ground a bit with their claws, kind of digging into the gravel. And one of the servants kind of comes forward and brings this big haunch of meat and kind of tosses it forward towards one of them, and it immediately just tears into it, just ripping with immense force, just ripping the meat away, and just gobbles it down quickly. And the other ones kind of come over. One of them comes over to that same bit of meat and goes to kind of nibble at it. The other one kind of snaps at it with its beak, and they both kind of like screech at each other for a little bit before one of the handlers comes and kind of puts his hand up and kind of separates the two a little bit, and then takes off a piece of the meat and throws it to the other one. And
in my head, I had an image of like, oh, they're such beautiful creatures.
Why didn't you just separate the meat in the first place? Cut it up.
The one that was doing it is a older female half elf. Has her hair tied back in a ponytail, in very worn but well-made leathers, with very large, thick gloves on that go all the way to her elbows. And as you say that, she's kind of finishing up what she's doing there and turns around. They get impatient, and it is not always easy to keep an impatient griffin from taking things into their own claws. Can I help you a lot?
I'm sure you can. You seem very helpful.
Quick,
Did I get an actual note, or was it a like just a message to pass along?
Just a verbal message.
Okay.
And what was that, Torque?
quick question. Is Torque familiar with griffins?
Roll a nature check.
I feel like griffins might hunt his people.
Four.
This is the first time you've seen something like this.
Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm transfixed.
Yeah.
They are part cat, so I don't know how Torque feels about that.
Yeah, but they're also standing at least 7 or 8 feet tall.
And the cat part is the butt part.
The half-elf woman just kind of like kind of stares at all of you awkwardly. looks back at the griffins. Well, I can be helpful. I need to know exactly what I'll be needing to be helpful with.
Oh yes, I forgot. Where are we going again?
To the
The
school.
bar. Where the fire is.
The school.
Oh
Yeah, we're going to
yes, the
school.
university.
Raulo said, Master Eartrend said that,
Oh yeah, Mr. Rattle. He said we should go to the university now.
I see. Yes, he did pass on a message to us that there would be some individuals coming that we need to transfer to the buildings. Have any of you ridden
Put two
griffins
and two
before?
together.
This seems an easy 2 and 2 to put together.
What I'm saying.
I haven't
Yeah,
ridden a
no.
griffin, but I've been a giant lizard. Does that help?
No?
How do we know if we've ridden one before? Have I?
That's gonna be up to you. If you feel like you would have ridden a griffin before in your life.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like out of all of us, you'd probably be the one who
I'm
actually.
just going to like walk up right to its tail and just ride on. Walk right on.
She goes, and you,
Oh, it's all right.
you
Don't
just-
worry.
That doesn't.
Your tiny frame has to like grab onto the stirrups and
Climb
your way up. But you,
Well, that's
with
why I
your-
start at the tail, so I can just go on a slow incline.
yeah, you get up onto its back and onto its thing, and you see the head kind of like cranes back a little bit to look at you.
Hello.
And just kind of looks for a second, then clicks its beak, and then turns its head back.
Yes, I feel the same. Very tired this morning. My friends, they sleep very late.
Well, that was not.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the griffin.
Oh, you know animal. You know how to speak with animals too?
Of course, I'm speaking to it now.
You was all a very odd group. Anyways,
We've been told.
Slowly
That's the
getting-
most polite description about us I've heard in some time.
what are you saying, Torque?
Torque would have been slowly getting closer to one of them, just staring at it.
You see, it's kind of got its head not turned towards you, but it can see you out of its eye, and it's kind of like you see it's looking around, taking you in.
And in the way that birds do. Their heads moving all, like every 5 seconds.
And the woman kind of, for the others that have not ridden these beasts before, just need to be respectful of their power, and they are hunting beasts. They are very prideful, and they just be careful. They will buck if you ride haphazardly. Just be aware. But they are trained, they know where to go, and they should get you to the school. Lickety split.
I'm still just like talking to this griffin, like all the drama that's happened. Like I teleported these people here. We went to a bar, it caught on fire from some fire beast. Like I'm going all in, just like talking to this griffin.
Griffin's head is just kind of like turning back and forth, kind of every once in a while as you talk. It like turns its like head towards you to hear you a little bit better. And kind of clicks its beak a couple of times, scratches at the gravel. It just seems like it's sort of listening to whatever you're saying. Whether it understands you or not, you're not sure. But it seems to be kind of anxious to get going.
I want to cast.
Well, come on, friends, let's go.
Kale's gonna hold his hand
My
out to
friend
one of the
here
griffins.
is very looking forward to our ride, I can tell.
Shioran casts Speak with Animals, and she starts talking to one of the griffins.
All right. As Kale, as you put your hand out towards one, make an animal handling check for me.
I'm going to look at Kale and be like, you must be more confident.
Animal handling? That's good. Okay.
Jordan's giving her compliments about being beautiful and such a powerful looking beast.
That would be a 22.
22. You kind of hold your hand out, and the griffin kind of looks back at this one's the all black feathered one. It kind of looks at you, kind of clicks its beak a couple of times, moves its head around, is kind of taking you in, and then kind of slowly lowers its head towards your hand and sniffs at your hand, but then kind of pulls its head back. Not in a like abrasive way. It just kind of says, has regarded you. Sure, and as you go to compliment the griffin, it kind of looks at you as, well, of course, I am magnificent.
Yes, you are.
This is,
I'm going to be riding you. Would you mind? I have never ridden one of you before. Would you mind taking it easy on me?
I could do my best, but if you have not ridden in the skies before, I would suggest you hold on tight, Blue One.
Will do. Thank you very much.
And Torque, do you continue to approach one?
Yeah, I continue to slowly, like, not quite creep, but, you know, like take a step, pause, take a step, pause. Just staring.
Make an animal handling check on me.
21.
Everyone has a different way of handling these animals.
The one that's watching you as you approach just keeps its eye on you, but doesn't back away. Doesn't react to anything, and then when you actually get close, it folds its wing back to allow you to access towards the saddle.
I'll reach up, pat its head, and then try to fit my lizard frame on the saddle.
Which is a little uncomfortable, but you're able to get yourself in there. Merrick goes up to 1 and 22. He is able to kind of very gently run his hand down the side of the griffin's feathers, and you see it kind of bends its head down, kind of looks at him a little bit, and then unfolds its wings so he can have access to its saddle as well. And eventually you all get onto your respective griffins, and the stable hands, they come through and help you guys get settled in your saddles. They help you with the leg straps. The woman explaining, for those who have not ridden these beasts before, these are for your own safety. If anything is to happen up in the air, this will make sure that you do not fall off the griffin and fall to your death. It's much preferable, I imagine.
Thank you very much for your help.
For the tiny gnome that can't quite reach the stirrups, there is a
I'm the halfling.
halfling. Sorry, for the halfling that picture you gave me. That just for some reason screams gnome to me. That's why I keep mistaking that.
I only got so many reference images
I
of like
know.
an old lady with very nature vibes. Like it's a tough one.
For the halfling, which is even smaller in stature than a gnome is. So, since she can't quite reach the stirrups, there's a rope that is tied around her waist,
Oh,
and then
no
tied.
need for that.
You're like, you sure? You may have
Oh,
ridden one, but
I mean, I guess it's fine.
and she'll gently like tie it around your waist, and then tie it around the little
He's like, no
pommel.
base jumping today, buddy. Like pat his head. Good thing for sure, since I have no parachute.
I'm sure they would have offered you a miniature one if they had some.
The moment that she's done helping tie the rope on the pommel of Ada's one, it spreads its wings and just takes off by itself.
I'm going to what's it called? I forgot the word.
Yodel?
like a happy scream. No, you know,
Okay.
like when like someone's like excited on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Not the terrified one, because I'm not terrified, but like the excited, like a lot of adrenaline one.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
just hear this, just a
like,
scream of passion and excitement as this thing just takes off into the sky.
Feel 20 again.
Fast. I mean, this thing is
They
hundreds
really
of
wanted me
feet
to
in the
stop
air.
talking.
I feel
I wonder
100
if her
again.
bones are gonna be dust by the time she lands.
This
All
is-
that G-force can't be good for an old lady.
You ever seen what G-force does to a person's face? It
like,
makes her look even older.
No, it makes me look really young because like all the wrinkles are pushed back.
Yeah.
Like it's like I just have
She's
like
getting
a
a-
really big side face.
An aerial facelift.
Yeah. But
Cartoon
within
where they pull back all the excess skin and then put a
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
rubber band around it.
within seconds, Ada and her girlfriend are hundreds of feet in the air, and which at this point looks around at the rest of you, is like, okay, then kind of like smacks the rear end of one of them, and they take off as well. And within moments, you all feel your stomachs just kind of drop out from under you as all of a sudden you just launched up in the air with these griffins, and they are all kind of like taking their own formation. You're not really guiding them at all. They obviously know where they're going, and within moments, you guys are soaring hundreds of feet in the air. You can see the land stretch out below you. You see the entirety of the lake that stretches out from Arconix outwards, and it's just sparkling in the morning sun. The fields and farms of Arconix spreading out towards the east and the west, and the east and the north. And you see, as you continue up, you can see mountain ranges off in the distance that weren't quite visible from down on the ground. And as you get closer, you see these massive floating structures of these castles, just kind of lazily moving through the currents of the air, just kind of floating thousands of feet up in the air.
Logistical question.
Hmm.
Did Kale have Ainsley with him?
That's up to you.
Well, if Ainsley does come with me, he's got to have those little dog goggles on.
Yeah, of course.
Tongue. Roll a wisdom check for Ainsley.
Oh God.
Shiorin is just like marveling. It's almost like she's swimming again, but it's so much clearer than normal.
It actually has advantage on wisdom. No, it's on brute. Never mind. Never mind. I guess he'll roll with the same wisdom as I've got, right?
No. Let me look up what a dog's stats are. Pretty sure it's somewhere in here.
What kind of dog was it?
A Malamute or Husky.
I have a.
known in D&D terms as a sled dog, which uses the same stats as a wolf, oddly.
Okay, I have a wolf.
What's the wisdom for that?
No, I do not.
Oh, here we go. I got a mastiff. We'll go with that. +1.
+1. Got it. Please don't be shy. Yeah, that's okay. That is a 15.
15. Ainsley's taking this experience quite well. He was at first, as you took off, kind of like you kind of have him in your lap, strapped in, kind of with a harness that's been put around his chest and then kind of anchored to you.
Uh-huh.
And you felt his claws kind of dig into you as you guys took off, but now as you guys are now soaring up, and it's a little less of a chaotic like dive straight up and more of at an angle. He has his head up, he's panting, tongue's flapping out on the side of his mouth. He's got his goggles on.
Doggles.
His goggles.
Awesome.
He's a happy pup.
And you see that the structures, there are 5 of them kind of floating around. If I said less in previous episode, just sort of a bit of a retcon. There are 5 major structures that are floating up in the air, and they seem to be directing you towards the central one. They all kind of there's one central structure itself, and then there's 4 other that are floating around. 4. Let me just verify. Apologize. Sorry, 6. 6 structures. 5 of them floating around with a 6th one in the center. You all head up towards the center one. It takes you only maybe about 5 or so minutes to get all the way up there. But when you get up to that point, Arconyx below you is barely visible below the cloud line. That's the other thing. As you hit the clouds, you all get kind of sprayed with moisture as you pass through them. Your clothes and your hair and your face getting wicked with moisture. But then rising up above the clouds, you can see the tops of these castles now. This center area has a massive structure at its center, large, almost cathedral-esque type of building with these large kind of stone spires in this arch along its top, and they are free-floating massive blocks of stone that are in this large arc, with a large one sticking up the center, and then smaller ones leading to slightly larger ones, and then smaller again, almost kind of like the hands, like the ticks of a clock, with the one straight up and down being the largest. You see a number of other buildings kind of stretch out over this large campus area. Grass and trees and garden areas, and then there are paved pathways, and you see numerous people milling about, walking along, and you see a number of people flying through on brooms or straight up just flying by themselves. At one point, you see even what seems like a humanoid with wings, kind of hovering across one of the pathways towards one of the buildings. As you look towards them, they look at you, but in a strange way, as their head kind of turns 180 towards you, and you can see that the humanoid is some sort of owl-like creature that is bipedal and humanoid shaped, but has features of an owl. And then they turn their head back and continue on their way.
That elicits a gasp from Shorin. Not expecting that.
Mm-hmm. As you pass by, again, you see more, like I said, people and whatnot, but you also see walking amongst a little bit of the crowd, along with a few other people, is a large 8-9 foot tall humanoid creature that is a bipedal elephant humanoid. Large gray trunk with these tusks that come out of the mouth that are tipped with what seem to be jewelry, golden jewelry, and many earrings along the long kind of flappy ears that reside on the side of their head, dressed in very fine robes and very rich whites and greens, and they definitely stand out in the crowd. You can definitely tell that this is an area of a lot of variety.
Whenever I'm gonna be asleep, Whenever we land.
The excitement's worn off, and the Otta's. It's a good thing he strapped her in. You guys eventually get the griffins all come and land on a kind of a large landing pad, essentially, area that's kind of separated out, big circular area of stone and brick that the griffins all kind of run in a circle as they land, coming to a stop, and you're all able to unbuckle yourselves, unlash yourselves from the griffins, and once you all depart and someone helps Ada off of hers,
You wake me up.
the griffins all take their leave, stretching out their massive wings, and then
I'm be like, next time you'll have to tell me about your adventures. See you later.
Before they
They
leave,
all-
Shiorn wants to like give it some head pats and thank it.
It coos in a very bird-like way as you scratch at it, and then it follows the others, and they all kind of curve in this large circle above you, kind of going up and up and up, and then they all trail off from there. As you all are standing there, staring around in, I'm guessing wonder, but that's up to you how you guys feel.
This is what my land stride is about.
Not being on land.
What's the land stride?
Turns to Kale. No, experiencing new things.
Oh, I see. I'll just walk away.
And then she turns to Ada, and Ada's already walking away.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear a voice from behind you. A land stride, you say? And you turn around and you see a human female walking towards you. She's wearing kind of reddish robes. Her hair itself is kind of auburn, pulled slightly back into a loose ponytail, but most of her hair still kind of runs freely down her shoulders. She's very beautiful, but looks like she's probably in her later 40s, and wearing obvious makeup, but very well done, very meticulous makeup. And kind of steps forward and, did I hear you say Landstrad?
Yes.
That is fascinating. I've heard of such a tradition of amongst your people. I've read about it. Excuse my manners. My name is Augusta Tallis. I am one of the deans here. May I ask where you all come in from?
Oh, it's Mr. Rattle's mansion.
Mr. Rattle. I'm
Yep.
unfamiliar.
He's very important here, from what I've heard.
Rauluitronic.
Ah,
Raulu.
the Lord Mayor. Yes. He sent you all here. Is for a reason?
Yes, I'm sure it was for something.
We did want to do some studying about the dragon prophecies and a few things related to that.
Ah, draconic prophecy. Yes, that is one of my favorite subjects here, actually, myself. I am the Dean of Order here, and I'd be happy to show you all around if you so choose. Are any of you here as students or just as visitors?
Well, I might become a student. I'm sure you've heard about me. I teleported all these people here in my exam.
I did hear about that, yes. The word travels fast around here.
I thought it might. I hear those griffins are real talkative.
You'll have to tell me how you conjured such an impressive spell, and if you are capable of such a feat, why do you need education here?
I said I might be. I hadn't decided yet.
I see. Well, regardless, I'm sure there's plenty of things here that we can teach. But
One can never have too much knowledge.
in the meantime, again, my name is Augustus Talos, and I'd be happy to learn all of your names as well.
Shioran Alara.
Could you give me that name one more time?
Augusta Tullus. AUGUSTA
Why'd you give
Augusta.
that look, Tori?
Because my initial, like, insight into this lady was she cannot be trusted, and you just gave her your full name.
Your initial insight?
Yeah, my personal one was that she cannot be trusted, and you just gave her your full name, not even just Shioran.
Well,
If you remember, we're not supposed to say our full name. Ada doesn't know that, but
I think it's kind of pointless
why
at this point.
that's why I made that face. You asked.
You said the Dean of Order?
Yep, the Dean of Order.
Okay.
Well, we have Shioran. She'll look to the fiery-haired one. My name is my business.
See, told you.
Kind of
Yeah,
looks,
got it too.
kind of raises an eyebrow at him, but as you please. Looks to the rest of you.
Kill looks at Merrick and is like, I'm Harold, and this is Ainsley, and you see Ainsley just kind of bork in response.
Just make sure that the pet is well taken care of. There are dangers here on campus that is not necessarily anything that's going to be lethal, but the students here like their experiments. And if you're not careful, you can get caught up in them.
I look at Ainsley and basically just say, "Hey, don't stray too far from me. In fact, don't stray at all from me. Get it? Got it? Good."
Kind of looks up at you and kind of butt hits the ground and very attentive.
What's Torque doing?
Torque's just looking around, staring at stuff.
And the potential student, what was your name?
Oh, what was that again? What?
Your name?
I had walked away a little bit, so I couldn't hear. Sorry, I'm a bit hard of hearing these days.
Your name?
Oh yes, of course. My name is very important to have a name. My name is Alicia.
Alicia.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Now, you, my good sir, she looks to Torque. I've honestly, in all my years, not met a lizard man.
Torque kind of snaps to attention.
You hear from Droam, I assume?
Drone.
Drone.
God damn it.
Shut up, Nami.
Listen.
Navi.
That's the spirit of airless yelling at us from the beyond.
Well,
I like
is
how.
there...
I'm sorry. I like how he says Torque snaps to attention, and then it's like, "Hey, listen."
Do you have a name?
Lightning.
Is he hard of hearing as this little one is?
Give him a minute. It's not his first language.
What other languages does he speak?
You know, I haven't really tried.
Yeah, we'll make it simple. And she takes out a something out of her pocket and says a couple of words, and there's a bit of a kind of a rush in the air around her as you can see her hair kind of phantom out, and you can see there's almost a odd visage of a hand kind of crossing across her throat. It's very faint. It just looks like there's someone that's just very gently grabbing and then drawing their fingers across her throat as she straightens up after finishing whatever spell that she has cast. And she says, "Now, may you can understand me a little bit better, and you can speak in your native tongue." And all of you hear her voice as normal, but there's a slight kind of audio difference, just a bit of a resonance to her voice.
My name is Lightning.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Lightning. And you hear her as if she's speaking in whatever the easiest language is for you. Well, now that we have introductions out of the way, let's take a little bit of a tour through this, at least the central campus here. From there, it'll be up to you where you need to go, and I can direct you where to get lodging while you're here. And she will kind of turn and start heading off towards the larger structure in the middle.
Okay.
And she starts off by saying that this place is obviously separated into the 6 different structures, with the one you're on currently is the main central campus. As she walks, she leads you into this large kind of open garden type area where there's hedges that have been cut and shaped, whether by hand or through magic, into all sorts of different shapes, into large geometric shapes to chaotic kind of arcs and strikes and shapes that are kind of clashing together, but it comes together in a very unique piece of plant art. Leads you around this massive fountain that has a statue of some sort of seemingly wizard at the center of it, with very similar floating arches that kind of wrap around it, much like the large building off in the distance. And she explains that here you will find much of the basic information. This tends to be where visitors come to study, and it's where the first-year students here mostly reside, and where inter-subject studies can occur. And but this structure you see up in front of you, you see this massive domed, like I said, cathedral type of structure. this is the Bibliopex. This is a center for um, a lot of our knowledge, and it is ever growing. And I can promise, most likely anything you'll want to find is here. A number of the campuses have more centered knowledge towards their subject matter, based on the school it is that they have. Um, they'll also find a number of social areas. There's the Fire Jolt Cafe, and it is a very popular area for the students to blow off steam. Then for finding food and place of lodging, there's the Bozen Tavern. And she kind of points off in a direction. You can find that in that direction, and you can easily get room and board there while you're visiting. And this is also where we hold the stadium, where we hold our sporting events for the students. They do enjoy their recreational activities. And she takes you through kind of exploring it. It is a massive campus that is structured out into kind of like a pie type of situation with a number of central roads breaking off in multiple sections with the Biblioplex right in the center. You come first to the Archway Commons, this is that garden area, and then she points off to the right where the Fire Jolt Cafe is, and kind of leads you around to a number of the areas, pointing out, not doing the entire tour because it is quite a large structure, but gives you kind of the rundown. Is there any questions any of you have?
Where do so I hear there's a lot of like new people coming in recently. Where do they all kind of congregate? Is there like an orientation?
Well, yes, actually, there is the first year students all are going to be congregating here in about, kind of looks up towards the sky, in about an hour to for their orientation.
Okay.
It will be at the it'll be at the Biblioplex, and you're welcome to come and join. It is, at least for me as one of the professors here, that it is a surreal experience seeing newcomers come to start their journey of knowledge and learning.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Any other questions?
Off the top of my head, no.
Well, okay then. Then we can get on our way, and I can lead you towards the Biblioplex if you like. Unless you'd want to get some drink, refreshments, anything like that.
I'm good. Is everyone else good?
I think
Are there any interesting smells up here?
It is a very different type of smell up here because you're used to smelling the earth and the plants of the ground, but up here, even though there are plants and whatnot that reside in a number of these areas, they smell just slightly different. And the air is, you can tell, is just slightly thinner. For those who understand physics and what it means to be up high, for anyone that has that kind of knowledge here, it is odd that you were able to breathe as easy as you do here, because you are quite high up.
Yeah.
I think Shiaran would understand something similar with how water pressure works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely smells very different up here, and there is because of your attunement to it, there is a kind of a spark to the air around you that this is an area of heavy magics that you've never experienced before, and it just kind of sets your scales to tingle.
How can we breathe higher than mountain?
Oh, well, there is a mythal that is placed on this place, that on all of the structures, that keep the atmosphere breathable. Otherwise, yes, it would be quite hard for a number of us to breathe up here. That's very astute. She says
Torque
as
just
she
continues to look around.
continues to lead you towards the giant structure in the center. Once you get there, you can see more and more people kind of milling around, people of all races and ages and genders, and just a plethora of people that some are look like they come from royalty, others look like they come from poverty, and all stretches in between. Some of them in congregated groups. Sometimes there's individuals that are off by themselves, and it is loud and people kind of talking back and forth. And but Augusta continues to lead you through. You see her kind of wave and nod at a few people. You see other what seem to be professors as well. You can definitely tell that there are signature robes for the staff here that kind of denote seemingly where they may come from and whatever school that they reside in. And a couple of them have very similar kind of crimson red robes to her as she nods and greets them as they pass. But eventually leads you into this large structure. The doors are massive, 20-foot tall double doors, built intricately of wood and metal, and even bits of it seem to be have stained glass fixed into it. But where they seem like they would take 10 men to push one of the doors, she just very gently places her hand on one, and it just almost silently just slides across the marble stone floor of the landing and opens out in towards the center. And it opens into a massive library, bigger than any of you have seen in your entire lives. It stretches all the way up to the ceiling, where there's a large glass dome to the center that lets in sunlight, and you can see the large floating rocks just hanging up in the air. That if they fell, they would crush the glass and turn this place into a hell zone in an instant. But they hang precariously in midair, unsupported. The bookshelves start quickly on either side and then stretch out around this circular area and then branch off in numerous directions to other areas where you can see more books and scrolls stacked on top of each other, large archways, and then there's a second floor where even more, and a third floor where there's even more. You see a number of people milling about. You see even as you pass by, there are books that literally fly off the shelves and then fly overhead off in a direction. Somebody comes by with a cart that has a stack of books that's completely unrealistic with how large the stack is. I mean, they're holding it here, but the stack is probably a good 15 feet tall, and it's kind of wobbling very precariously, but none of the books actually fall. And when they get to a bookshelf, just kind of holds their hand up, and one of the books at the top kind of lands in their hand, and then they put it on the bookshelf, and then they continue on their way.
Can she even see through those books?
The staff here is very tuned to this place. It's a wonder even to me how they keep track of all of these books. I can't even tell you how many scrolls and just different sheets and paper and stories and biographies and journals we have here. But they keep it orderly.
It's crazy how a place that seems built with no logic is ruled by it. Because Kale's like looking at the things that should not, the physics breaking stuff.
That is something you will find here at Arconics. That is a rule to the exception. This is a way to think about it. Is never feel that you know what should or will happen. Most likely, this school will find a way to surprise you. I can promise you that.
Quick question. In this time, has she still had the weird kind of semi-auto-tune reverberance to her voice?
That has lasted, yeah.
Okay, good enough.
Um,
So, Torque's little ear frills would have flickered a bit when she mentioned journals. And he'll go ahead and pipe up. Have journals from Folwyn? And give me a second on the last name, because fucking elf names.
Therali.
Yes, that sounds correct.
She kind of, Therali. You can definitely tell there's a bit of recognition in her face. And why specifically are you looking for journals from this following? You muted.
Need to compare notes.
I see. Kind of looks you over a little bit.
Mark is way smarter than you might think he is.
Shiorn would have been hearing Torque speaking in Draconic.
Right. But I
Hale understands.
can surmise from what she said.
When he mentioned Folwyn's name, he did say that in Common. Because believe it or not, names don't translate very well in Draconic.
She looks at you and she says something quietly under her breath. And you see there's a shift to her eyes. The irises turn from kind of a darker color to a bit of a lighter white. Almost as if they're clouded over. And what are your surface thoughts, Torque?
Uh-oh. I was gonna say insight check.
Make an Arcana check if you'd like.
I can do that. I'm not as good at Arcana as I am insight, though.
You just like start to hear a big snore from Ada.
That's a 7.
Surface thoughts are, why did the mayor, headmaster, whatever the hell, say that he didn't know about Folwyn when they have records? Grandfather said they would get a copy after delivering them.
Well, I can tell you that I've never heard of this Folwyn before. But I'm sure if you ask around a little bit, you can probably find something. If they were of any import or contributed to this library in any way.
Torgal nods slowly.
And then she will turn and, well, it looks like the students are starting to file in. Please follow me. And she leads you over to
You guys wake me up, or do you leave me?
Yeah, I was gonna say once I finish chewing.
No,
give me a
Torque
second.
just grabs her and keeps
Yeah.
walking.
I was gonna
Okay,
do that.
just-
Forget it.
okay, I'll stay asleep.
Well, I wanted to ask a question.
What's up?
Oh, of Ada.
Okay, well, if you wake me up, you can do that.
Yeah, just to lightly pat you on the back.
I'm just gonna like start swinging.
Ah, Miss Ada,
Oh,
if you're going,
who's Ada? What? What's going on?
you're Ada.
Inside check.
Hello.
If you're thinking about being a student here, wouldn't the orientation
yes,
be a good
yes.
idea for you?
Oh, I'm sure it would be if I would remember it the next day.
You're gonna forget it?
Oh, most likely, but let's get going.
Okay.
I'll hop. Well, I won't hop down, but I'll like tap Torque to put me down. I don't have my joints hurt too much to hop. And then I will continue walking with them.
As you walk through, you see a number of people sitting at tables reading books and sifting through scrolls. And at one of the tables, you see a very strange sight as a bench has been pulled over to one end of a table, and a very large creature is sitting there hunched over in a very awkward type of position with a book that to any of you would be a hefty book to hold in two hands, but this creature is holding it between its fingers as if it's just a tiny little tome. Is a large minotaur with these large white horns that curve forward and then up from its forehead, but is wearing these custom, obviously made spectacles that sit on top of its snout. And with a large feather kind of sticking out of, kind of pressed behind one ear, like a quill of some kind, and it is just sitting there reading away at the book alongside the other
sit
students.
next to him.
The image in
I
my
got a
head is
question.
just like,
I have a question to ask him.
Torque likewise will walk over.
But I'm not going to bother him as he's reading. Like, I'll let him wait.
He's like down chapters. He's reading and whatnot, and then his eye just kind of like passes over to you.
And my eyes are like, I'm looking for it, but I'm like,
He doesn't say anything, but he is looking at you.
oh, okay. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt your reading. I was gonna wait until you finished the chapter before I started talking. But I have to know, where did you get those spectacles made, young man? Because they are of a custom size, I can tell, and I need some myself these days. Obviously, I need it in the other direction of the custom. Smaller, not bigger, but I assume, you know, if they do customs of one size, maybe they do it of the other, I don't know. You made them. Oh, dear. Okay, how much do you charge? You don't charge anything. Do you make them for other people? Or you just don't charge because you don't make them?
I made them for myself.
Yes,
And
but
I
I'm
can
asking,
Can make
could-
it.
you could make a pair for me. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That is very sweet. You're trying to get into the school then? For your glasses making ability. It's wonderful, by the way. Love the craftsmanship. I'm sorry, young man. I did not catch that. I'm a little hard of hearing these days.
I have already been accepted as one of the students.
Okay, I'm just gonna like stand up so I can get closer to his head.
just start climbing.
I have already been accepted as one of the students.
Oh yes, of course. Oh, I remember now. Someone said it was orientation. That means
For his
you've been
massive
accepted.
size, he is just super soft spoken.
I was assuming that it was going to be a library joke, but this works.
Well, young man, I appreciate you for offering to make me a pair of glasses, but wouldn't you need to buy the supplies?
No, I can make them.
Yes, I know you can make them, but where will you get the supplies to make them?
I have them available.
They're already available for free to you.
Quite.
Oh, okay. Well, then wonderful. I would like to place an order. We should open a shop.
What is your name?
I'm going to like stand up, maybe like climb on his shoulder a little bit.
And he hunches down all the way to your height.
I'm going to whisper in his ear. Like, it's on. Oh yes, I'll definitely remember that. I'm great with names, young man. I am not a student here yet. You might have heard of me, though. Because I teleported all of these people here in my
Hello?
entrance exam.
Hello.
Not yet, but you will, I assure you. Yes, I could definitely hear every word you say.
I will find you when I complete your order.
Do you make any hearing devices?
I have not yet, but I can look into it if you'd like.
You know, it might be something you should look into, young man. I feel those around you would appreciate it greatly. Nothing untoward to you. I enjoy your voice, but I can barely hear it.
People do talk about the world. It's hard for me to understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I got all of that, 100%.
He just kind of nods towards you and then goes back to his book.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit next to him.
That's gonna kill me. Oh my god.
He's my new best friend. I don't know his name, but he's my new best friend.
You can see as you're looking at him that you've glanced at what his book is. It seems to be a book of poetry.
I have no idea if the whispering actually came through well or not on stream.
Oh,
It-
no. I
Doubt it did, but that's
No,
kind of the
it
point.
barely registered.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So Cal just
I mean,
like
yeah,
walks
that's
it
just
was
beside-
character,
it was
so.
the meaning of it.
Yeah. I think it's actually more funny if
Okay,
it
wait.
doesn't.
Yeah.
What type of poems is he looking at? Like, does it say on the book?
If you look at that one, it seems to just be a collection of poetry. Some of, if you kind of like glance over and kind of read the one that he's on the page in, it's talking about dancing like a snowflake on a frozen lake in kind of very flowery language type of poetry, a little bit romantic.
Ooh. I've never read this book before, but it looks like a good one. Do you mind if I read over your shoulder?
Shakes his head.
Great, I love new poems. I get like really close to the book.
I
Pull out my
see-
magnifying glass.
You just kind of crawl up on his shoulder and kind of like tuck yourself in behind his horn.
Yeah, I don't know what personal space is. I've never heard of that.
So there's just the strange sight of a 7-foot tall minotaur with a halfling old lady curled up in his shoulder, reading a book together.
Well, I think Ada might have found a place she wants to stay for the moment.
I'd say so.
That's fine. It doesn't really matter. We can see whatever we are from here, and you can see from this table area that there is a once you've gotten further in, there is a kind of balcony area that rings around the center and then dips down into a lower floor that seems to go into kind of past ground level, and where you see even more books and whatnot. But what has been separated out in this central area below is a large kind of stadium kind of look to it, with a number of chairs and bleachers essentially that have been set up in a kind of arena type of area. And in the center, there are a number of chairs that have been set up that are, some of them are empty, some of them are have people in them and are currently being filled in as the time passes. Which, as it gets a little closer to that time, Drazomir, as his name is, does stand up and closes the book after he's sure you're done reading the poem that's on the page, and
That's sweet of him.
and as you're closer to him, you kind of hear him a little bit better. I have to get to the seat I am assigned, as I am part of the orientation. It is my first year here.
Rule follower. I see. Nothing bad about that.
Well, I'm sure if you come around here more often, you'll see me. I intend
Well,
on...
yes, I must pick up my glasses
Yes, and if you do need me for
and
anything
my
else,
hearing device.
I'll have to look into that.
Well,
And
have fun at your orientation, Blagablier.
and he bows his head, and even as he's walking, he's like, his shoulders are pressed in, he's hunched over, and he seems to be, even though he could have a very large intimidating frame, he seems to be trying to hold himself as in a little bit amount of space as possible. And he moves on and towards the stairs that lead down to that area. You see a number of people walking by. You see that elephant man that walked in, that you saw before, walks in. Very tall, is just covered in jewelry, and his clothing has gold embroidery and kind of resplendent shoulder pads and a beautiful sash that goes across his chest, and walks with a very prideful air to himself as he walks in. And just a plethora of people, elvish, gnomish. There's another one of those owl type people. People of all varying looks and sizes and races, and they all file in over the course of probably about 30 minutes or so before you see that the seats all down below are all filled up with what seemingly are the first year students to this new semester. And as the place kind of quiets down, as everyone is kind of taking their seats, and you guys can choose to be up on the balcony, or you can choose to have gone down there. That's all up to you guys.
Oh, I'm wherever we were asleep again.
And they're at the center of the stage. They're at the front of it is a stage area that's been kind of set apart with a pedestal, their kind of podium, and out walks another one of the another one of the professors. This one is a dragonborn female that walks out and taps the podium and says, "Welcome, everyone here, to the first year of your time here at Arconyx. I look out at all of your faces, and it is a boon to my heart to see so many people here looking to gather knowledge and understanding. I can promise that though your journey here will be difficult, and it will be full of challenges, I can promise if you strive for greatness and to achieve what you have come here for, this place will give you all the tools you need to succeed." And she kind of goes on from there, giving this speech about the college itself. And she talks about the 5 different colleges that reside here as part of the Arconyx. There is the Lorehold College that is all about history and discovering the secrets of the past. There's the Prismari College that's all about using art and expression to find new ways to use magic. Quandrix College is about mathematics and logic and finding the structure of the universe and how it works very mathematically. Silver Quill is all about using language and light and dark to find the way that the world is built around speech of different languages and different dialects. And Witherbloom is all about the process of decay and growth that reside in the endless cycle of nature and life, whether it be in plant life or human or anywhere in between. And she explains that in their first year here, they will decide from there which school they feel is most appropriate for them to join, and from there their studies will continue and center on those, but that they will continue to learn in a variety of different fashions and ways. And she introduces she talks about the other schools in this speech, and then says that now, as this orientation comes to a close, we will allow everyone to get to know each other. There is food provided here. Please meet with the other students, get to know each other. And as I am sure you are all aware of, this year is a special occasion for a number of you here, even the later year students. We are the hosts of the path of the Trials of the Ninefold Path. And you at this mention a number of the students and people in the library start to kind of get riled up a little bit. And she puts her hands up. And, now, please, quiet down. It's going to be a little while before they all arrive, but this campus is going to be busy. But we need to make sure that we represent the principles of what this trial is for. It is to bring together the countries of this land, to show that there is unity, and that the tragedies of the past 100 years do not continue, that we can show we can be better than our warring counterparts, and that going forward, we can build bonds of peace, of friendship. So I ask all of you here during this time to act in that manner, to hold those values close at heart. For as we are the hosts, we are the ones setting the example. Please, welcome to Roconix, and please enjoy your time here and savor it. It goes faster than you think. Welcome. She kind of holds her hands out, and all of the students start cheer and clap and everything. And it kind of goes a little chaotic from there. Augusta, at that point, kind of, it is going to be quite interesting around here. Come in the next couple of weeks.
Has the school hosted the Trials of the Ninefold Path before?
Not for many, many years. It has not been an event since before the war.
Did anything crazy happen last time?
Well, there are stories, but I was not here for that. That was over 100 years ago.
Right, obviously. I'm just...
It's the end times towards the end of when the Ninefold Path was occurring were chaotic. There were incidents of students sabotaging other students, other champions, and it was an unfortunate time. We are hoping with the stricter rules and the precautions that we have put into place that we can stop things like that from happening. But who knows? I just hope they've hired good enough security this year to handle the influx.
Well, speaking of which, we are to be a little bit of that security, but would you know if anyone's arrived early for the trials?
Not that I'm aware of, though I'm quite busy with my work. So I just happened to be at the landing pad when you all arrived. So it's
Insight check.
sure.
You know what? Yeah, me too. Well, that's a crap insight check.
Natural 19 for a total of 24.
She seems to be telling the truth that she doesn't know necessarily if anyone else has arrived, but her being at the landing pad by chance seems a little off.
And she's still reverberating.
Nope. It says, well, I have my responsibilities, and now that the ceremony itself is done with, these students are going to be going around and creating quite a bit of chaos, and I like my quiet for studying. So I've just coming this way for a couple of books, and once I find them, I will be on my way. It was a pleasure meeting you all, strange as some of you are, but I look forward.
Talk.
I look forward to. She completely ignores Ada's remark. I look forward to seeing all the rest of you if you're all going to be a part of the security. Please keep this school safe.
Should we talk to anyone about that?
Well, I'm sure Raulo will get a hold of you.
Okay.
I heard he did arrive here earlier today. So, hang out here. Go to the Fire Jolt Cafe if you'd like. I'm sure he'll find you.
All right.
I'm going to browse the library a bit, if that's okay.
Fine by me. It is open to all. And she bows, takes your leave.
Torque's just gonna watch her go.
Right. She goes down along the balcony for a little bit and then turns right into a aisle of books and disappears.
Can I look down that aisle?
If you want to follow her. You
Nah. If it wasn't too far away, then that's fine.
She walked a few columns down and then turned right.
I just wanted to see if she actually disappeared.
Just from sight as you're aware. Yeah, you guys kind of stand out. Kale starts to move off towards one of the bookshelves to kind of browse, and
Before he does, Torque's gonna tap his shoulder.
Uh-huh.
In Draconic, he's gonna go ahead and say, she wasn't there by chance. Think she was expecting us.
We'll ask Raul about it.
If those bangs are being picked up on the mic, I'm sorry about that. Someone's probably playing with fireworks or something.
Georgia.
But as you guys stare around at this massive library, realizing that finding information here might be a little tedious with how much information is here, we'll take our break here quick and come back in about 15 minutes.
It ain't no thing for me. I'm a nerd.
Did they not have the Dewey Decimal System here?
They do, but not everything is in one language or so it's a bit more complicated.
All right. Oh, I'm kind of losing my edge, but I don't want to drink a monster to stay awake because, it's late now. That'll make me stay up all night.
Pretty. Well, what time do we need to be back?
Say
Math?
quarter past the hour.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right. See you then.
There it is. All right.
Oh man, it's wild not needing to do the Torque voice.
I'm sure it is. All right, we should probably talk about dinner, Brian.
Yeah, we should. I'll be down here.
Yeah. All right, I'll see
Oh, hey,
y'all.
Panic, if you're still around, thanks for showing up.
Yes, thank you for showing up, everyone who showed up. Nice to have you all here. be on the way back.
The food order is up too.
Alright. Let's see what I want. Make sure not to open that in display window. Not what I copied. Guess the question is, do I want boneless wings or do I want a quesadilla? Hello, big fat guy. But well, someone else made the decision for me, so I have to accept it. Truly sage advice. And tater tots. All right. I guess my food order's in. I did not grab a drink. I will be right back. I'm gonna get a root beer because I need the caffeine. So, Nug, Echo, and I, we kind of have our own language when it comes to what we call our drinks. And I kind of want to... I just want to get the knowledge out there that we sometimes call root beer boot rear, or also the Red Foreman Special.
Quick question, what kind of root beer is that?
Bark.
What brand is it? Bark? Okay, good.
Mug is the one without caffeine.
All root beers don't have caffeine. It's Bark that's the specialty that is.
Yep.
Yeah, if it was Mug, I
Thank God
wouldn't be.
for that.
I know, right? I just wish that they were still making the diet stuff. You can barely find it anymore. It's like you have to go on Amazon. Very specific scalpers sell it for $1
Yeah.
and you can.
Well, I know. It's during the pandemic they cut out like about 30% of their portfolio because they also cut out like Tab and Fresca and all that other stuff
Yeah.
too.
I miss my root beer, man.
I've never gotten into diet drinks. My mom drinks Diet Coke like a lot, and I tried it, and I just can't handle it. I like sweet stuff. That kind of
That's
sweet.
terrible. Coke Zero. No, that's good shit.
I like sweet stuff, but that kind of sweet does not work for me.
A good friend of mine, his mother loved Tab, like on a cultish level. It was insane.
Cult of the
So
Tab.
when they got rid of it, she like bought like 40 freaking crates of it. And she like allocated an entire room to Tab. It was insane. But at the same time, I understand. I get it.
Yeah, if you like something that much, you kind of gotta find some way to be able to keep going even when it's discontinued.
Yeah.
Ah. Hopefully this caffeine actually helps. Drinking a Monster now would be bad.
At least you could chase that with a Benadryl and go to sleep later.
I'm kind of wondering what kind of crash that would cause.
Well, only one way to find out you're in your 30s. You need to start experimenting. All the rest of us are on stimulants. Why don't you join us?
The rest of us are all what?
We're all, the rest of us people in our 30s are on stimulants. Why don't you join us?
Because I don't want to rely on them.
Oh, my sweet summer child. Bless your heart.
Listen, I've gone this long without actually caring about coffee because I don't like it, so...
It's the only reason. It is the only reason I have ever maintained a career.
Coffee?
I needed something. The amount of late nights I've had to work were saved by coffee.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about, actually. Welcome back, Tori.
Hello. I just ate some chocolate checks and it was so good.
I've got boneless wings, lemon pepper flavored coming.
From where?
Sidelines.
Never heard of it.
The local chain, like an Outback almost.
Oh, interesting. You know what I want really badly is some Cheesecake Factory brown bread.
That's good stuff.
I've never had that.
I like
Best.
I like their well they used to have, I don't think they have it anymore, but they had like this chicken and arugula pasta that they used to make.
Interesting.
That was good, and then they got rid of it, so I taught myself how to make it.
All I knew about Cheesecake Factory is they made cheesecakes.
They do make cheesecake. That's true. They also make so much other stuff. Like
Yeah, it's a
so
binder.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their menu is so fucking big. It's like intimidating.
I took y'all to Cheesecake Factory before, Ant.
I probably only
Really?
had cheesecake.
No, we went there for brunch.
But one time on my birthday, I went there and just like ate so much free bread that I just like took my meal home and didn't even eat it because like I ate so much bread.
Yeah, that's how they
Not
get
the,
you.
not the white bread though, because that stuff's gross at Cheesecake Factory for whatever reason.
You don't like the sourdough?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Well, I
More-
mean, I don't hate it, but like, especially if you eat it like after, like it's, like if you eat it when you're in the restaurant, it's like okay,
yeah.
but then like if you bring it home and then reheat it, it's like gross.
Oh god, reheated bread. Like not
The
even
brown bread
toasted
works like totally fine though. It like tastes exactly the same, but that bread gets like hard as a freaking rock and it's nasty. In my experience, which is a lot because I eat Cheesecake Factory often.
So how do you feel
Okay.
about coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Hey, I'm not alone.
I think I might be the only coffee drinker here. Zach, guys, do you drink coffee? If he's around.
Must not be back.
You might need a moment.
Yeah.
I do not.
Okay.
Mm. Scott, do you
Cat-
drink coffee?
Me? No, I hate coffee.
Wow.
Okay, so we all hate coffee.
Only coffee drinker here.
Yeah, no, the smell actually makes me sick.
I can't.
hate coffee. It's
I
so
can't
gross.
stand the taste.
One of my kids gave me a $20 gift card to Starbucks because it's like the end of our soccer season.
eBay
and I was
sale.
like, what am I gonna do with this? I
Oh.
just gave it to one of the other coaches.
They've got pastries at Starbucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then I'd feel like shit and
When
not
back
worth it.
way back when we kind of went to Starbucks every so often as a group, the three of us, me, Ian, and Brian. I just got the chocolate milk or hot chocolate. What was it? That it was chocolate milk.
Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate.
Mm. Yeah.
No, but they also have sweet tea there, so.
So there's a few things that non-coffee drinkers will.
Well, I
might
know
enjoy.
that. It's just like
It's just expensive.
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't want to go there.
Hmm.
I have no interest in going to Starbucks, even though it's right across the street from me.
Well, more coffee for me, I guess.
Yep.
Mhm.
If I ever get coffee, I guess I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, if someone ever. That's all I have to say. If y'all ever want to make a donation, just send me coffee.
Well, I know what to get you
Just-
for
I
your
know what you're
birthday.
They have like
All
a
the
site for that.
coffee. No,
my
not
God.
buy me a cup of coffee. I mean, send me the actual coffee. Just
Yeah,
Give me the
it's in the
beans.
mail. In the mail.
give me the
Oh my
beans.
god. No, look how horrifying this layer looks on my.
Wow, that's what the dolls in Uvaroth comics should look like, Brian.
It looks horrifying.
Yeah, can I see that again one more time?
Yeah. 1 second.
I gotta maximize you, and now it's gotta load
and-
you.
It looks like this.
Hold on. Discord kind of froze.
You guys get to see this beautiful picture for so long.
Oh God.
Hold on a
Hold
second.
on.
hold on.
Let me check on Twitch. Oh wow. All right.
Layer, I opened up my layers and I was like, what the fuck? That's horrifying.
All right. I'll be
Did
right
you
back.
see it?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay.
Be right back. The Discord crashed.
Wow, Discord.
So I know what
crashed.
you're all thinking. Zangetsu, you don't have cheese. How are you supposed to be in character? You see, that's the secret. I cheesed my popcorn at the very start.
Oh, okay. I'm jealous. I wish I could eat popcorn. But it's
I wish I could.
literal corn. And I'm allergic to corn. I can't eat
Mm.
popcorn.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's so good. You know, when I went to the Bob's Burgers movie, it's like such a disappointment. I mean, I brought my own M&Ms, but like, my mom got popcorn because I took her with me.
That was super dead.
Isn't there a rice
man.
substitute popcorn?
So mean.
Yeah, you can get puffed rice.
I
Like
thought-
rice cakes?
It's not as satisfying. No, like just puffed rice. It puffs like popcorn. It's weird.
What?
Yes.
I've never heard of that.
It's also called Rice Krispies.
No, it's
Oh,
fluffier
Rice
than that.
Krispie trees? I can't have that.
Hmm.
Unless I made it myself, I could. But they're always gross when you make it yourself.
Yeah, but rice can be used for a lot of things. Like,
I didn't realize they made puffed rice.
Mochi.
yeah.
You know something I can't eat that's surprising is Fruity Pebbles.
Well, that's
I
pretty much
love
right.
Fruity
That's a puffed rice item too.
I know it is, but like, you would expect it to have corn syrup, but it doesn't. They just go for regular sugar.
I don't like Fruity Pebbles, but that's because I don't like strawberry. And the secret is, all of the Fruity Pebbles are strawberry flavored. They're just different colors.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh man, so at Walmart, that's like where I go after work on Saturdays because it's like close to get my groceries that I can't get at Aldi because like usually that's where I go get my groceries because they're cheapest, obviously. But
Aldi's got
they
the
only had
way.
yeah, Aldi's great. But Walmart only had like these like special edition like magic fruity pebbles. And I mean that's like same taste, whatever, but they like didn't think about it because the fruity pebbles are red and yellow and it makes the milk purple. So like the yellow ones look just like dirt brown, like they're so gross looking. I'm like, okay, purple and yellow, it makes brown. Like, what were you thinking? Like they look so nasty. Like I can't even look at the bowl when I'm eating it. I'm like, this looks so gross.
To be fair, Fruity Pebbles makes the milk look kind of gross too if you let it sit long enough.
Yeah, but I mean it's instant. It's
Mm.
part of like the special edition thing. So like you can't even eat it fast enough for it to not do that.
That's terrible.
I know it's horrible. I'm like, they did not think this marketing thing
Good
through.
lord.
No.
I'm sure kids don't care, but like it's gross. It tastes fine, but like it looks terrible.
Is it like when you have like a chocolate cereal and it changes the milk to chocolate, or is it like a
Well,
different?
the milk is still
brown?
purple, but like the yellow pieces turn brown. So it just looks nasty.
Oh, the yellow pieces turn brown.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the problem. I see
Yeah,
the
the
real
milk is
problem.
purple. The milk's actually pretty cute. I like the color, but no, it's the yellow pieces that like turn brown.
Hooray! You got a little bit of
And,
chocolate. That's
you know,
not
brown
chocolate.
fruity pebbles are just like not they're not cocoa pebbles. They're just
Mm.
like weirdly tan brown.
Why'd you mix cocoa pebbles with fruity pebbles? Those are not cocoa pebbles. Oh.
Yeah, basically. It's such a weird marketing thing. Like pick different colors. Ones that if you don't mix them, they don't make brown. Like
Yeah. You guys are inside the biblioplex and currently have the place to yourself
one.
at the moment.
do we see a librarian anywhere?
Make a perception check.
Oh, I don't know if I see a librarian anywhere. I mean, my
We'll also look
perception's
for an
not that bad,
offline,
but
library drone.
I'm gonna roll at disadvantage.
Now I'm wondering what an undersea library looks like. Probably a bunch of scrolls of some type.
Yeah, I
Seaweed
only got
scrolls.
7
Like
with my
cuneiform
disadvantage.
scrolls.
It is very crowded in here, and with the number of people all walking around in robes, it's kind of hard to tell who is who. You don't see them at the moment.
Torque got 20.
What are you specifically looking for, Torque?
Looking for a library drone, aka a worker, someone stacking books.
Oh yeah, that was a signal, wasn't it?
You look into one of the aisles between the columns of books, and you do see a older woman, gray hair, pulled back, with glasses kind of just barely pushed down her nose. Very classic librarian look. Is currently has a stack of books in one arm, and as she's picking one up and lets it go, it just kind of floats up and sticks itself inside between a couple other books.
Torque will approach and do his signature finger up. Can I ask you a question pose?
Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry. So many people around. I wasn't expecting someone of your stature. May I help you?
Hopefully. Also, friends have questions.
I can help in whatever way I can.
Around the corner.
Let me finish putting away these books, and then I can assist.
Want
And
help. Long reach.
no, these books are quite capable of finding themselves. It's just more of a thing of intention. She kind of looks up and grabs one of the books, and just kind of lets it go. She floats up. And she does that a few more times until her arm is empty. And then, please lead the way to your friends. Are you and your friends students?
Guests for now.
I see. Well, if there's any way I can help, and she'll follow you along the column until you get around the corner towards the other ones, everyone else.
It looks like he's a kid in a candy store.
Found Arc, Hive, B.
You just call me a bee.
Did you just call him a bee? Her? Him? Her?
Her.
Her. Did you just call her a bee?
He points around. Hive. Points at her. B.
I've been called worse. What may I help you with?
We're here looking into the dragon prophecies.
The Draconic Prophecy. That's an interesting subject. Not most students, at least in the first year, deal with it. And your friend says you are all guests?
Yes.
Well, we do have some books. They're scattered around. Unfortunately, they come through many authors, so I can give you a small selection of different authors to look for, and I can give you the general direction on where to look, but it'll be up to you to find them. I have many things I must do to keep attending to the library.
Well, any help at all? That's more than we had before, so.
Yes. Give me a moment, and
Mhm.
she kind of pulls out her hand, and as it does, this just kind of stream of paper kind of appears, materializes out of nothing, and she reaches back and pulls out a quill, which doesn't need ink, it seems, and she just starts kind of writing down a small list of names, and she hands it over to you, and who would grab it from her?
I guess I would.
Okay. Grab it. And none of the names you recognize. Make a history check.
I'm sure I wouldn't recognize them. Being not from the surface.
Just give me a history just to be safe.
Well, that's not bad. What is my history? 14.
14. As you're reading down the names, most of them are just kind of like, I have no idea who the person is. And all of a sudden you look at one and you realize, why does that sound familiar? Oh, yeah. Torque said that name, didn't he?
What name was it?
It looks like Fullwind Therali.
Torque. You were looking for, Fullwind. I'm sorry, what was it again? Fullwind Therali?
Therali.
Fullwind Therali, right?
Yes.
This might interest you. That's not what I should say. It's not the book, it's the list. Well, his name's on this list. Speaking of which, he was looking for, notes by, this Fullwind guy. Do you know exactly where we can find that?
Journals are mostly in the back, but they can be scattered around depending on their subject matter. For Fulwin, are you looking for someone specific?
He is. We're just looking for the dragon prophecy.
Oh, well, and she'll point out a number of the areas, stating that the majority of what you're going to be looking for is going to be in the third floor. And but for the journals, if you're looking for them specifically, it's going to be more of a thing of investigation.
Right.
I can't remember everything, but the Draconic Prophecies will be placed on the 3rd floor specifically.
I'll head up there and take a look.
All right. She'll nod her head and then continue on in her duties. You head in that direction. It's a bit of a trek as you're having to kind of sift through a number of people, as it is quite crowded in here at the moment.
Gil already has probably a couple books in his hand already that he's pulled from the shelves.
You see that a number of the students seem to be kind of moving around with a purpose. As you're kind of sifting it through, and some of them are conversating with each other. There seems to be something going on. It's a little hard to catch all the motion at the moment, but as you're passing by, you can definitely tell some of the students are definitely doing something collectively.
Gil's gonna walk up to him.
You walk up to a small group of students. One of them is a woman with tan skin, pointed ears, some jewelry, dark brown hair, very fine modeled features. And next to her is a small female dwarf with bright red hair that she has bunched up into two big frizzy kind of puffballs on the sides of her head. But she is quite stocky and muscularly built. And then alongside them is a owlin creature that is has very nice fine robes on. Has a very inquisitive kind of look on his face as he's kind of scratching the feathers underneath his beak.
Okay. Kel's going to just kind of approach him, and he's going to introduce himself. Hey, are you all first years too?
That we are. The owlin creature speaks up. Name's Javadesh. And yours?
Harold.
Harold, good to meet you. You see the dwarf sticks out her hand. Good to meet you. Name's Greta.
Greta. Nice to meet you too. I'm Harold. Obviously, I said that before. Don't know why I said it again.
She just laughs, shakes your hands. She's got a strong grip on her. And the tan woman with the piercings kind of like puts out her hand in that kind of less of a handshake, more of like presenting her hand to you.
Oh, a noble lady.
Aurora.
No, that's a good name. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. You're a prospective student yourself?
I wasn't until I came here, yes. Now I'm having second thoughts, but I'm going to be working around the facilities for the future. I just thought I'd introduce myself.
I see. Well, good luck on the scavenger hunt. And
Yep.
Greta's like, yeah, we've already got the first clue already figured out. It's pretty easy.
Oh, there's a scavenger hunt?
Yeah, it's part of orientation.
I was not clued in on this.
Oh, sorry? And Javanesh will kind of click his beak and like, well, you should probably figure that out then. We're not going to help you on the clues. It's every student for themselves. Sort of.
Do we at least have a brief that's not filled out that I can maybe solve then?
Well, you can go down.
That's not going to hurt anyone.
He
Not going to hurt your chances. You're way ahead of me.
His head kind of like turns all the way around and kind of points with his beak down towards the lower areas. Oh, it's where the other students are getting their information. More than welcome to go look down there. and they then kind of continue their conversation with Greta giving you a nice beaming smile one more time before she goes back to the conversation.
While they're doing that, can I find the librarian lady
Yeah, you
that
can stop her
they were
before she
talking
leaves.
to? Yeah, because I want it while they're distracted. I want to talk to her myself.
What can I help you with?
Hello.
Hello.
It is good to meet you.
It's good to meet you too. Can I
I
help you?
have a question, yes.
Hmm.
I am looking for come closer. I don't want to scream it.
She leans down, kind of
I am-
awkwardly.
I like go on my tippy toes, as like high as I can. I'm like,
I'm looking for a spell. Where would I look for those? A very advanced one.
Very advanced? That depends on how advanced we're talking. There are. You can find spells listed in a number of these biographies and things like that, but we don't really keep
very-
our spell work here in the
Very
Biblioplex.
high. Oh, okay. Where would I need to go for that?
Well, you need to have access to some more of the more student-driven archives.
I know.
You're a student?
Not quite yet, but you might have heard of me.
I'm afraid I don't get out too often, so I don't
Well,
think I have.
I like point to them over there. I'm like, well, I teleported all of these people here during my entrance exam, so you might have heard of me.
That is fascinating.
They asked for a dog, and I got one, plus some.
Well, that is definitely a little bit more than is expected, and if you did accomplish such a thing, congratulations.
Thank you. But I'm looking for some information on a different spell, not that one.
Okay, I mean, if you give me some more information, I might be able to direct you in the direction.
A very high level spell. Could I just look for it myself, or do I have to tell you?
I mean, you could look for it yourself, but if you want my help, I'll need more information than just
Well,
a high level spell.
Obviously that, but I mean, like you said, it's not in this building.
Of course not. And again, it still comes to the nature of what spell you're looking for. There is each campus has their own kind of concentration. Like Loreholt has a number of spells on contacting beings from beyond the grave and even summoning spirits, things of that nature. Where
Okay, I understand. Though I don't know the translation in common, I'm afraid. Do you know Halfling?
I do actually.
Oh, of course. So I'm just gonna say the wish spell in Halfling because she doesn't actually know.
That's I've not heard of that spell myself.
Well, okay. Well, could you direct me to someone that maybe has heard of it, or
If you find yourself a professor, they might be able to be more knowledgeable in that regard.
trustworthy ones?
If I understand exactly what it is you're looking for, let me take a look at the. I don't. A lot of the college professors are going to deal with a little bit more concentrated spell work, dependent on their discipline. If it is what you're, if I understand it is what you're looking for, you might want to talk to one of the oracles.
Alrighty. Could you point me in that direction?
Well, that might be a little difficult. The oracles are.
I can close my eyes and you spin me around and I'll just start walking.
Well, the oracles are difficult to get a hold of. They are very busy and they are secluded.
Secluded where exactly? I'm great at making friends.
in a part of the campus that is not accessible to students.
Accessible to who then?
The oracles.
That's all. Can I knock on the door?
It's not quite how that works. There's no door to knock on.
Well, do they, since I've told you, do they now know that I would like their help?
I mean, the oracles are quite aware of the things going on in this
Perhaps
campus.
they can see the truth.
Possibly. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to make a meeting with them. They get a hold of the students, and
Well,
some of the
then I will
faculty.
just start talking. See you later.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start walking around the library, like looking at books, but I'm gonna be like, "Hey, oracles, hello. I need your help." I'm just gonna be like walking around, like I'm just gonna be like opening up different types of books, just like skimming them, and then like just talking the whole time.
See a couple
Sound
of
like a crazy person.
I would say you're not like a crazy person at all. You see a couple of younger folks kind of look in your direction and like whisper to each other, and then kind of move away.
Yep, that was to be expected. But I don't care. So
Yep.
I'm old. I can do what I want.
Isn't that the wondrous thing of I was thinking of getting older. I just don't care anymore.
I was gonna look for the scavenger hunt form.
All right. You head down to. You head down to the auditorium type place, which is you get through just hearing people call it as the Hall of Oracles. And the area is this kind of like large, like I said, kind of arena type looking. And then now that you're down here, you can see that there's large pillars along these major kind of entryways into other parts of the lower library. And each of them hold these statues on top of them that seem to depict people of grand stature. And possibly by the name of the place, they might all be oracles. But as you get down, you see kind of a line has appeared of students. Do you get inside the line?
Sure.
All right. So Kale gets in line and begins his wait. What are the rest of you doing?
So I'm gonna turn to Merrick and Merrick, you seem the most studious out of us, or the most studied. Excuse me, that's the right word.
Were you still heading up to the third floor?
Well, we didn't even start yet.
Yep.
But
You would see Kale go off.
yeah. Merrick, you seem the most studied out of us. Would you know how it works finding books in this place?
Depends on how they order things. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to take tedious work to figure it out.
I was thinking we should probably split up. Maybe you should help Torque with what he needs, and then meet up with us afterwards. Me and Kale, wherever he went, and find the dragon prophecy stuff.
Sure. I can help Torque. I have some things I'd like to study as well while we're here.
All right, makes sense.
Where are we meeting?
I guess on the third floor, or if there's a meeting area there.
All right. We'll meet there in, say, what? A couple hours?
Sure, that works.
All right. Merrick will kind of chase after Torque.
While I'm, wandering around the library, I am also going to just like kind of go into the most secluded places and look for my new friend Bleedabluff.
I'm gonna.
You do what?
I'm gonna look for my new friend Bleedabluff.
Oh, your Minotaur friend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go try and figure out where Kale went. Actually,
All right.
I can probably. Do I have that spell? Yes, I do. I'm gonna send Kale a message within 120 feet if he's still in 120 feet of me. Hey Kale, where'd you go?
I am waiting in line.
Where?
There's a scavenger hunt going. And I'm curious.
Oh.
Because of it might be applicable later.
Okay, well, I guess I should come help you then.
I should also mention, in this area that you found yourselves in, there is a section in the middle of it that is a massive pulsing ball of magical energy that is kind of contained inside this rocky structure that seems to be kind of floating around it. And there's this kind of trickle of what looks like possibly it's acting kind of like water, but it looks more like light kind of flowing down into this large basin at the middle of the kind of arena type area. Yeah, sorry, should just describe that a little bit better. But yeah, you guys are in a line that has been slowly progressing. By the time you found Kale, he's about halfway through it.
So, what do you think this scavenger hunt will do?
I was wondering, there was a bunch of other students conversing about it. And we're supposed to be doing some sort of security work too. With all these new students, I was just trying to figure out what normal looks like.
Okay, I can see the logic there.
It took me away from wanting to do some research, but I figured that, we can work on it once I've just got this. I just wanted to get the form.
As you continue forward, you finally get to the front of the line with a group of individuals, not just by yourself. And you have walked up towards this large pulsing energy thing. And as you get closer, it kind of glows a little bit. You've seen it happen a couple of times, as a number of times as students have come forward. You haven't really heard anything until now, as you hear a voice kind of resonating in your mind. It says, "Brilliant scholars," it kind of resonates through. "Your attention, please. You are now in the Arcanics University. This storied biblioplex will be your second home for research, studies, and even leisure. There is just one task to accomplish before you officially embark on your academic journey. A scavenger hunt. The rules are simple," voice says. "Each clue on this list will lead you to a different location in the biblioplex. Simply travel to the area each clue references and perform the action the clue suggests. Time is of the essence. You have only until the end of the day to finish your hunt. Solve as many clues as you can, because as each location, you may win a prize. Now then, off you go." And as that finishes, there's a kind of a unraveling sound as a scroll of paper kind of appears in front of you. You kind of grasp it, and a number of it appears in front of all the other people that are in that line. And it has 5 clues that are written on it. The first one It says, forget all about any trouble or plight when you step forward and are ensnarled in light.
Seems like some sort of restoration thing. The cleric and Kale's coming out on that one.
I'm gonna look at the light, the light in the middle of the library.
Yeah.
They want us to dive into that?
I mean,
And
let's
then
see.
there's the guy
Let's.
that's like 2 students down saying, "Hey, no hints on the escape room."
I think I have an idea, but let's let it slow burn for a bit.
Hmm.
And come on, let's not waste any time here. Let's get back and actually do some work.
Right.
Eh,
So you take
And,
the
and as we're walking back, Kale's gonna be like, at some point, wouldn't just rules of basic observation kind of help people just finish this? They just watch other people perform the same action. Is this going to be static or is it just not? I think it is static because the other kids were refusing to give me hints. So really, this is just, you know,
Maybe it's a test of how you work together.
or it's a test on how you watch other people work together.
you see a number of people milling around. No one seems to be doing anything specific at the moment.
It just all depends on what you look for. That said, they said the kids upstairs said they've saw 2 clues already, or a couple of clues already. That could either be a bold-faced lie, or they're accurate. But either way, let's go up to the 3rd floor because that's where we need to go anyways, right?
Right. I'm kind of curious
Um,
about this scavenger hunt. Maybe Raulo will let us try it out later on.
Maybe.
All right. You guys then head off and eventually try to find your way up to the 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
Torque, you and Merrick end up getting to the 3rd floor first, and it is a massive maze of consecutive circular shelves of books that just continue to go out and they branch off and move in different directions. It is a absolute maze. You've never seen this many books. Even out in the other area, it is just stacked floor to ceiling, and the bookshelves themselves are a good 40-50 feet high, and it's just in every direction. Merrick kind of looks around. I think this is going to take a while.
I will be back in just a moment. Our food just got here. So.
Mm-hmm.
Did the piece of paper that we had gotten that showed the different names of the books that were relevant, did that have like a general like shelving ID or anything, or was it just a list?
It was just a list of authors.
Looking at the first couple of shelves on the nearest bookshelf, does it seem to have any sort of order to it?
Make a intelligence check.
11.
11. It's hard to tell just because a lot of the books you can't really understand what they say. They're in a language you don't understand. There's a few in Common, a few in Draconic.
Any in
From yes, there are some, and there's a number of them in Elvish as well. And from what you can ascertain with the language you do know, it seems to be ordered in alphabetical as far as you can tell. A little strange alphabetical order since it is through multiple languages, so it's a little hard to tell exactly what their order is that way, but it seems to have its own system. There seems to be maybe a deeper part to it, as each shelf has a symbol on it that is in kind of a runic fashion. Not exactly sure what they mean, but if you would like to look for something specific, you can make an investigation check.
Torque's gonna scratch his chin, seeing the kind of runic fashion, and just mutter under his breath, "Runes again. Need another bee."
There are numerous people all milling around up here in the library.
While I'm walking around, just kind of like wandering around, talking to the Oracle, pleading my case as well as I can without, I'm going to cast Comprehend Languages, just so I can, as I'm like going along the shelves, I can read the spines of all the books.
Okay. Yeah, you're kind of having to run your hand along the ones,
Yeah,
so
I'm just like,
so you can read them. As you're doing that, around the corner comes a very small-statured young woman, a gnome, with a large book over her shoulder. Kind of comes around the corner a little quickly, almost bumps into you. "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to get you away. Excuse me."
oh, it's no problem, my dear.
And she'll kind of like skip.
Are you a new student here?
Yes, I am. I'm name's Rosemere Fenfifth.
Yes, it is.
What's your name?
It's I believe Ainsley.
Ainsley. Okay.
Yes.
You could just call me Rosie if you'd like. It's what most people do. I know my name's a little difficult for other people to get. It's long-winded
I appreciate
and yeah. She's kind of like holding the book with two hands because it's just very big for her little stature. She's
what
the
do you
same size
have
as you.
there?
Oh, this one is it's a history of a old war general from over in the Kyre Kingdom. It's talking about
Interesting.
strategies that won him a lot of battles. It's really interesting.
Are you planning many battles?
Not myself, no. I just love reading about history, and well, unfortunately, the last 100 years of this country's history is all about war and bloodshed and
Yes, it is.
dominance. So, but it is a fascinating thing because through learning about the mindsets of the generals, we can get a better sense of where the mindsets of the countries were in general. Like people can talk about like the ideas behind it, and she starts going into this long-winded.
Like my head is still nodding though.
And
like...
she doesn't even notice and is just going on and on and on and on.
So,
yeah.
For the most alphabetically first name on the list, Torque's gonna start looking for that. He rolled an 11.
Okay. You're looking around, glancing, and unfortunately, a number of these books don't necessarily have their authors planted on them. It's a collection of books and scrolls and tomes, and there's even a couple of areas where there's straight up like tablets with what look like Sanskrit written on them, and it's a little difficult for Torque to figure out what is going on. So Merrick is gonna try to help.
Yeah, as I'm struggling, I just grab Merrick by the head and just shove him towards the cases. Learn.
Learn.
Learn. Learn, you bitch. Wait.
I'm sorry, but I rolled a natural one.
Oh no. Merrick, what has happened to you?
So Merrick's like, what languages does he know?
When you said learn, I just imagined from Dragon Ball Z Abridged that
Yeah, I was
tutor.
thinking that too.
Learn! 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 Are you learning yet?
How far away are Shiorn and Kale, by the way?
3 floors down.
Yeah, you guys are getting to the 3rd floor. This is kind of, they were starting their investigation as you were still waiting in line.
Okay. So I didn't get to see Merrick yet.
I can't really read anything. Yeah. Man, this is overwhelming. Give me a little bit. I'll try to figure out something. Split up and meet back here at the entrance in a little bit, and we can try to figure out what we found together.
Before separating, Torque's just gonna like take a little strip of Merrick's robe, like as he's walking away, just like taking the cuff off of his shirt.
It's like a scent.
All right.
How do you do that? Because you make it sound so easy. You just like trace your claw along it and cut it out like that.
Yeah. His claws just elongate now.
Just like
He's basically got scissors on his hands.
while Merrick watches, like, what?
Well, I mean, it's Torque.
Yeah.
Kale and Shiorn, as you two are walking up the stairs towards there, you are stopped partway through as you have to kind of like get against the wall as this what at first looks like a clothed tree is walking down the stairs, but you realize quickly that it is a creature of some kind, a very large statured creature with wood textured skin and these large kind of twisting branches coming out almost like antlers, glowing yellow eyes and kind of a glowing resonance coming in from the creature's chest. Below where you can see there's a numerous kind of leafed stitched clothing and some stones and bone that have been kind of put together in kind of a necklace around its neck, and it just kind of very slowly just kind of walks past. You see it has awareness.
Shiorn looks really like what's the word? The good shocked, like in awe of this.
Make a nature check.
Oh. Well, that's already a good roll. Nature.
I'll roll one too. Why not?
That's a 24 because I rolled a 19.
24. Okay.
Hold on.
I was just gonna let it be a new thing for her, but
That's a
Larry.
13 for Kale.
15. Yeah, you're not sure what you're looking at, Kale. Shioran, though, you realize quickly through the elements of it, you haven't seen one like this, but you have seen others. This is a dryad. A being of quite literal nature, incarnate. And you see the its head just kind of turn towards you, nod very slowly, turn, and continue on its way, unless you say anything.
Honestly, don't have anything to say. Just, I look on in awe.
And it continues down the steps. You guys are free to continue up.
When it passes by, and is like more out of earshot, I just turn to Kale and I say, I think I love it here, Kale. So many new things, so many amazing things, and people.
I don't disagree. Had I known about this, I'd have considered trying to join up earlier. Because this isn't that far from home. Believe it or not.
I'd been born on the surface. I might have gone to this
country
place.
over.
All right, let's get going.
Oh yeah.
You guys kind of hurry up the steps. You can almost, and it's strange as you're going up the steps, you can almost feel like it's an odd sensation as there's a bit of a spring in your step as you're continuing up. And you realize quickly that the steps themselves, as you step and are about to step off, they kind of do a gentle, they just kind of shift a little bit and kind of push your foot with, making it a little easier to go up these many, many stairs.
Which helps Shioran a lot more.
Yeah. You end up getting up to the top of the third floor, and again, you're met same as Torque and Merrick as this massive maze of bookshelves, just kind of arching off in different directions and kind of circular patterns ahead of you.
And in the nearest row of books, you see an imprint that looks surprisingly like Merrick's face.
It's
just a small little scorch mark on the bookshelves.
Oh! I cast Mending.
You okay there, Merrick?
Merrick's not there. It was where his face got pressed into the bookshelf.
I think...
Yeah, you don't see either of your allies at the moment.
I think Merrick's been here.
Yeah, or Merrick was here. As in, used to be Merrick.
Huh?
What? No, it's just the... Anyways.
As you guys are standing there discussing this, you guys are both shoved out of the way as a young man, dark brown hair with slight kind of streaks of little, just very small locks of white, and he's got it swept back. He's in very fine, almost militaristic garb. Kind of pushes past, out of the way, and he just pushes past and continues on.
Excuse me, there's a more polite way to do that.
Doesn't acknowledge you at all and continues and disappears behind one of the columns.
Rude.
Hale's just kind of gonna have that stare. How can I call it? The Travis Willingham stare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all know that. We all know that stare.
As you're both staring, you hear a female voice from behind you. Don't mind him. Thinks he's above a number of the students here. As you turn around, you see a human woman, silver hair kind of flowing back, young, maybe in her late teens to early 20s. And she is sporting kind of bluish and silver, kind of a mix of a robe and leather doublet. And she's got a few pouches at her side. And she looks to the two of you. Good to meet you. Students, I presume?
Not quite. But we're researchers as well as some mild security around the area. Can we help you?
I just saw what happened and just didn't want there to be any discourse. Name's Mina Lee.
Mina
Good to-
Lee.
Good to meet you.
Okay. I'm Harold.
Sharon.
Harold, Sharon, good to meet you both. I'm a second-year student myself here. In
Oh,
the
yeah.
in the Silver Quill College.
Oh, so that's the and then Kel kind of snaps. It's like that's the language-based college, right?
It is, yes. And, I enjoy it very much. It is. If you're ever interested, we do. Me and a group of other people, we do readings at the Fire Jolt Cafe. Every
Oh,
Friday.
really? Every Friday, huh? What kind?
Whatever the equivalent of Friday is in Eberron.
Yeah, but what kind of languages have you studied?
Oh, I've studied many of them. Primordial, Celestial is one of my favorites, specifically.
Okay. And then Kel's like, Celestial. He's also saying this now in Celestial.
She said primordial too.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
primordial. At the
Eberron
same time,
equivalent of Friday is far.
Every far.
At the same time, Kale is saying, "Oh, celestial." Shiorn is saying, "Oh, primordial," in primordial.
And you see, as she talks, she flawlessly switches between talking to Celestial to you, Kale, saying, "It's like, oh, it's I always have a pleasure of to find an excuse to use my skills," and then turns to you and flawlessly turns to Primordial in this very guttural kind of elemental voice. And it almost is kind of a strange adaptation, as Primordial is not a natural humanoid speech. It's something that most humans have struggled to replicate, because it tends to be more sounds of the elements versus actual language. And but she flawlessly speaks to you and says, "I've always wanted to meet one of the Triton clan. We don't get many here at Arconyx. Your people are secluded."
Yes, we do stay secluded most of the time.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. And if you need anything, I can help in any way I can.
Kale asks this time in Dwarvish, how many languages? How many languages do you actually know?
She kind of looks and is slightly stammered in Dwarvish. I know about 8 at the moment.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's a bit better than me. I'm quite good in 7.
You would be a wonderful candidate for Silver Quill.
I think I might have missed my calling.
Is it still in Dwarven?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kill's like I'm actually my trade is actually I come from Thrain. I am a cleric by trade, of course.
You'll find a fair number of other clerics of all sorts of faiths here in Arconyx. I can promise you that.
Oh, it's nice to see. It's
Yes.
very nice to see. Yeah.
We are a school of tolerance, or at least that's what we like to present. There are some people that will take their faiths a little too seriously and try to subjugate the others, but
There hasn't been any serious, and Kel's going back to comment for this now. There hasn't been any serious issues with that recently, have there been?
not any around the faith, no. But she kind of like leans forward a little bit. I don't like to gossip myself, but there has been some reports of strange individuals wearing masks around the
Well, that's never
campus.
good.
Nothing dangerous has happened so far, but people talk.
Are these
Mhm.
It's
do these masks look
I-
looks anything specific, or are they just random masks?
the stories change from person to person. It's kind of hard to tell what's accurate and
It's a little
true.
bit of narrative courier, I suppose.
Yes.
I just realized that I couldn't say narrative telephones.
Native, narrative carrier. I like it.
Uh.
Well, if you see anything or feel anything that is suspicious, please just let us know. We're going to be around campus over the next few days at least, especially when the trials of the night happens.
She kind of smiles at that. Yeah, well, this is going to be an interesting year. I'm glad I still have a couple of years left.
Well, hopefully this won't peak early, because then what's the rest of your 2 years like, right?
Yeah, that's going to be a little lackluster compared to this year, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. And just this is Brian now asking. Her name is Mina, right?
Mina, yep, and the last name
Okay.
is Lee.
Well, thank you, Mina. It was nice to meet you.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Where did you learn Primordial so well? I've heard very few surfacers speaking it, and even less speaking it so well.
Well, there are a number of teachers here that we have a number of Genasi professors and
That makes sense.
that help in those regards. I love language and everything about it. I actually one of my plans after graduation is I want to study into uh, the various languages and how they work towards spellcasting and how different tweaks might be able to change verbal components and change how the spells work, and how that influences more, how language spoken somehow affects the weave of this world. And I just want to know more. That's
That sounds
one of my
brilliant,
main
and
reasons.
honestly, I enjoy or I adore your passion for it.
She smiles. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if I can help you research anything, I'd be more than willing to. I spend most of my days looking into old tomes. So
Do you know
Do
anything?
you go ahead.
Do you know anything about the dragon prophecies?
the Draconic Prophecy.
Am I just saying it wrong?
Yeah, sorry. It's Draconic Prophecy.
Okay.
Yes, actually, I do know a few things. I've read into it a little bit. It's a complicated area. There's plenty of writings on it. Understanding it is a whole other level.
A lot of conjecture, I've heard.
Yeah, I can suggest a couple of things for you, and she'll here, follow me. I can grab a couple for you here, and then lead you in the right direction.
Okay.
And she'll kind of lead you into the bookshelves, and as she goes, she'll kind of like that one, and she'll kind of like point up to a book and call its name, and it will to her hand, and she'll hand it back to you. And within probably about as long as you're following her, probably a good like half hour of following her, you both are stacked with books by the end of it.
Do they are they any of the books with the authors that we were given?
Make a perception check. She's kind of like handing them to you quickly.
Okay, not a bad roll. Where's perception? There it is. That would be 14.
That's okay because I rolled a 22.
22. You see a couple of the names of a number of the names on the list that you've remembered. It's a little hard because the list's not in front of you because you did end up giving it to Torque.
Right.
But you do recognize a number of the names. Yeah.
Originally, I had wanted Torque to be able to get what he needed first, but I guess y'all decided to search for the prophecies as well.
Torque, you continue to look through the books. Make another investigation check for me.
I'm sorry. I think it's funny that me and Kale get help and like have hundreds of books while Torque and Merrick are just slamming someone's head into the wall.
Okay, a little bit better this time. Natural 19.
19. You kind of have the list in front of you, so you're able to kind of look, and as you move forward, you do find a small section on one of the authors, and you can see that that they've written about a number of different subjects, but reading through a couple of them, you do find about 3 books that seem to be correlated, at least with somewhat the draconic prophecy.
Okay, good to know. As I've been walking, have I gotten any more insight as to how they organize this place?
It seems to be a mix of author, subject matter, and then alphabetical. It seems to be kind of like a combination of that. So it's not like all the A's are downstairs and the Z's are all the way upstairs kind of thing. It's more based on a number of different criteria.
Which is probably necessary given the language stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, one more time. You said author, subject matter, then...
Author, subject matter, and then alphabetical.
Okay.
Which has, since you've gotten that part of it, you've been able to kind of find your way around a little easier, but it's a process of you don't know what else is out there, so you're not sure if you're in the right area or not. All right. Is anyone doing anything specific besides just looking for more books?
Ada's still sleeping?
Well, it depends on if that girl's still talking, because I would think it'd be kind of like a, what's it called? Something that makes you sleep well. I can't remember. Like a whale song, you know,
White
ocean
noise.
sounds. Yeah,
ASMR?
just white noise. Yeah, that's what I meant.
You're awoken by the sound of a male voice. You kind of shake your head and look up next to you, and there's a tall male elf, short blonde hair, kind of swept off to one side, in a very stylish fashion. Lots of greens, very handsome, sharp jaw, and he's talking to Rosie. And Rosie, again, you got to realize that you talk too fast and too long. People really don't they can't really put a word in edgewise. Like, you need to let them talk too. I mean, she was falling asleep here. Didn't you notice that?
No, I wasn't. I was wide awake.
And Rosie's like, I'm so sorry. I should be getting going anyways. I'm sorry for pulling your ear. And
Well, I did ask.
She'll
You have nothing to be sorry for.
thank you. And then she'll move on her way. The elf will look to you and well met. And
I'm just gonna keep walking and browsing the shelves with my hand.
Make an investigation check. And what are you looking for specifically?
Nothing really, because they said that what I'm looking for isn't in here.
Okay.
Just like anything that catches my attention, really. That's a 16.
Ada is now looking for knitting patterns and cat pictures.
Actually, it's flower pictures and bird pictures. You don't have my vibe at all.
The subject matter that you are in at the moment seems to be mostly centered around transfiguration and the turning of one thing into another, essentially. Different
All right.
theories and biographies of researchers and mages.
I'll move on to a different section that's more interesting.
All right.
Well, I
Um,
think it's interesting personally, but Aya
yeah.
does not.
And you move on to another area. It is you're all realizing quickly that this place is going to be very tedious to find exactly what you're looking for, but obviously the knowledge is most likely here somewhere.
I don't know. Kale and Shioran kind of came out on top.
The two of you are keep on top, but you have a lot of books to look through, and that's kind of it's less narrowed down. But yeah, by the time of it's done, the both of you have about 20 books between the two of you. And she's like, I think those will do for now. If you get through all those in the next couple of days, let me know. I can try to see if I can find any more.
There's more.
Well, of course, there's always more to read.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
That is an understatement, my dear.
Can I even see past the books?
You kind of like lean your head out.
Here, let me take some. Let me take some from you.
No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Don't you also have a ton of books in your hand?
I do. I do. Yes. You sure? I mean, like, okay. Give me some books.
Let's go find a meeting area.
Okay.
You guys head off, and eventually, and Mina takes her leave, says her goodbyes, and heads off on her own. You find a seating area which is mostly empty, save for one person, a young girl with wearing green robes, and herself has very vibrant green hair that is styled in these very large kind of spiraled buns on either side of her head, with these large circular glasses, and she has her feet crossed in kind of a sitting position, and her hands outstretched on either side of her, and she's kind of floating there, and she has a book in her lap, but her eyes are closed at the moment, and she seems to just be floating there off to the side of one of the tables.
Let's try not to disturb her.
Obviously, she does not want to be disturbed.
She has green hair like I do, though.
Doesn't seem to
I don't see that
notice you
often.
guys.
Yours is better.
Ah, thank you.
No problem.
She wakes up at that. It's a challenge.
You guys find a table and just start reading books. It's a slog. There's only so much you're gonna be able to get through in a day of reading, but what you do find while you're here, at least in the first couple hours of reading before your eyes start hurting, is the Draconic Prophecy talks a lot about a number of different facets of history. The books cover people's own research into it, talking about how the signs of the Draconic Prophecy are in nature and the world itself, and that it is a thing of interpretation, and it lists a number of interpretations of certain events, and it talks about events that did come to pass, that fit inside the prophecy, and that it even depicts a couple of prophecies and talks about how that this phrase could mean multiple different things based on whoever's interpreting it. It could mean that if this king dies in this area, then it's going to set off a war in this part of the country, or if it means if this king is usurped by a certain person, and it kind of like goes into heavy detail in that manner. You read into a couple of big events that it talks about, and even some people theorizing that certain depictions in the prophecy even predicted the morning. and its catastrophic event. And it's kind of where you start to get to. It's a lot of theory, a lot of speculation so far from what you're reading.
Oh
on the
no,
Draconic
I have
Prophecy.
gone cross-eyed.
Yeah, it's very, very heavy, very kind of like it's your eyes do start to kind of go cross after a little while.
For the first time in a few months, Kale is actually thinking about his experience with Aelia.
The Torque, you end up continuing looking through unless you do grab those books that you found.
Yeah, I grabbed them and I kept going.
Okay. Make one more investigation for me.
Before we started reading, I would like to send a message to Merrick, assuming the two are still together, that he can find us in the waiting area, or the seating area with the floating hurt girl with the green hair.
Okay.
Okay, so before I make that check, Torque is gonna look at the books, look at all the pages around, mutter to himself, "Dragons, help my eyes. Partial dragon. I'm gonna go ahead and give myself guidance."
All right.
I like that flavor.
Natural 15 on the die, 4 on the D4, so another 19.
19. You are heading through the books, and you thought about it a little bit, but it's still kind of hard to sift your way through the just mountains of books. But you kind of close your eyes a little bit, and you tap into this kind of primal sense inside of you, and you just kind of continue past a number of books, turn down one aisle, turn down another, continue down, kind of running your claws very gently along the bookshelves until you just stop. You turn and open your eyes, and your middle claw is on the spine of a book that is labeled Prophecies, and the author itself is listed as Fulwin Therali.
Torque is gonna stand there for a minute, holding the books that he found in his other hand before just dropping them, and his eyes start to well up.
And as you all are separated out in different areas of this giant library, researching, trying to figure out, starting your research into this subject matter that has become so pivotal to all of your lives, well, at least to most of yourselves lives at the moment, and trying to find what you can, sifting through the endless writings and speculations of past researchers and wizards and sorcerers. And we'll pick up what happens next time we play.
Not next week, but maybe the week after?
I still don't know if I'm available for next week or not.
Okay.
I'm going to know more by next week, but we might be able to play.
Okay, cool.
Well, we'll keep you guys informed then.
We'll be back eventually, folks.
All right.
Yeah.
I know
So,
more of a role-playing session.
I enjoy role-playing sessions.
Yeah, I do too.
I like how
As do
Ada.
Me too.
I like how Ada's just doing her own thing. Honestly,
Well, I mean, I don't even know about the dragon
Oh,
prophecy.
yeah. There's no like real call to action with her yet to stick with us. So
I actually love how she's just gonna fall asleep so much.
She's really fucking old.
I know. It's just, it gets me every time. It makes me laugh every time.
It feels like you have like this big bingo board, right? And it's filled with causes of death, right? and you have 3, you had 2 more, and old age is in the way.
All right. Does anyone have any ideas for a name for this one?
Yes. To the library, but add an E in front of in the middle
Lie.
of library for library.
Okay, to the library. It's a lie.
We've been lying about our names.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Sharon.
Harold.
All right. That sounds pretty good. Everyone else
Not to
agree?
mention, there's hella sus people all around.
Yeah, there's a lot of sus people.
You have only scratched the surface of the amount of people that are here.
Just in the books,
You guys
there's quite a
gotta-
few.
You gotta heed the warning of what's his name Vermilion. Don't trust everybody here.
Or-
The first
My
thing
name is
about
Yorin blah blah blah.
The
Full
first thing-
name.
Okay, first off, I just
First
have a
thing-
terrible time
First
being
name,
paranoid.
last name, social security number.
Yeah. Here's
It
all my
fits.
contact information.
It fits so well with Shioran, though.
I know, I
She's
know.
a very trusting individual, so.
Here's my home address, my mother's maiden name,
Because it's not so.
my
Well,
first pet's name.
it's not so much about us. I imagine it's not so much about a trusting situation. It's more of a she's grown up with etiquette, and
Mhm.
when you introduce yourself, you
being
introduce
polite.
yourself with your name.
Yeah. There's also the fact that, surprisingly, just knowing my last name won't immediately tell everyone exactly what what my family's name is, because the Tritons actually do a slightly different thing when they call themselves by their names versus the family name. So unless you know
true.
exactly how that works with Tritons, which isn't that hard, but you have to know it's a thing, you can't really use you can't really just
Gotta consult the Triton
immediately,
researcher
yeah.
first.
So that wasn't as big a problem. But anyway,
I'm surprised by how many quasi-monstrous races that we've seen so far here.
oh god, Shioran's fascinated by that. She's so happy right now.
I'm kind of glad that like maybe I can express the nerdness that Kale actually is. Finally.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, go ahead and give us a follow. And if you are watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. It helps, and you might want to be notified. Maybe. I am actually taking the next week off of streaming, mainly because I finished Persona 4 Golden, and oh boy, did it take a long time, and I was starting to just struggle with the streaming part, not the game part. The game part was fun. The streaming part was just like, oh god, I want it to end. So I need that little break time out.
I kept laughing that you're past 3 streams of it. You're like, all right, we're gonna finish it. Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna finish it. We're gonna finish it.
God damn it, we're gonna finish
We're
it.
gonna
I wa-
finish it.
I was
What
not
day?
expecting the ending to take that long. I
I
know
was like,
that the main reason that the ending took so long is because there's another dungeon that I should have been able to get if I'd finished Marie. Like, I could have gone out and finished that. I could have, but I decided not to. That was my bad, but I know that's the reason. But like, I did not expect it to take 3 whole streams.
Yeah.
To end.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if you had finished Marie when I saw you were in January. I'm like, nah, gotta let this happen.
Yeah, I already knew about it then. I just like, what happened was I was considering doing it, and then I got to the final level of I'm sorry, I shouldn't spoil it. The final dungeon, and apparently you can't use go home to get out. And I'm just like, okay, well, I guess this pretty much means that I'm going to be finishing it here with my B party rather than my A party. Because I was training my B party at the time. But
Right.
yeah, I even left that room and it still wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah, I remember that from back in like the old Final Fantasy games where there was like a group of people that I always played with, and I never played with any of the other characters. And then there was a fight inevitably down the road. It was like, oh, you got to fight with these characters now. I was like, I never trained these people. I don't.
Final Fantasy
Oh,
VIII.
wait.
So I've
Oh
actually,
my god, Final Fantasy VIII.
I mean, I'm that kind of person who will actually train these other characters because I actually like that, which is why it took so long.
The problem with like Final Fantasy, at least the one I can really attribute that Final Fantasy VIII is the fact that you never have the opportunity to change your party
Mm.
until that time. So you have these characters who you could not train up, be 5 or 6 levels underneath your main party,
Yeah, that would be a problem for me.
and you're still playing on the same thing. I'm like, God, they really did not think this through.
But no, I'm pretty sure I was over leveled for that because like I was like 80. All of my other characters were 80 something. I was 90 something, and that's me training both of them, both parties, B party and A party. And one thing I did figure out, and this is for anyone who wants to play Persona 4 Golden, Chisei is only ice until you get Teddy. Then you should swap her over to physical attack.
Yeah, she excels at physical damage as opposed to her ice damage.
Mm-hmm. It stops giving you ice damage abilities after a while. And it took me so long to figure out why. Did I say Chisei or Chie?
You said GA.
Cool. I said the right name then. Alright. So anyway. This is not the Persona 4 podcast, but anyway.
Damn, it couldn't be.
Anybody have a streamer they want to raid?
Yeah, I've got my favorite goblin, Grishki. I can link that in the chat.
Cool. Do so. I hope everyone enjoyed that because I totally enjoyed all the sorry, hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. I forgot that commercial or ads were a thing with Twitch. Alright, I forgot what I was saying. / braid.
You really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I enjoy the role-playing sessions. Battle sessions are good. Role-playing sessions are great. As if it was.
And without a current time frame with the amount of hours that we were explicitly told had passed, my time counter is at about 1:30 p.m.
Sounds about right. By the time you guys get done reading and whatnot, it might be later, but yeah.
We want to get lunch. We'll probably want to get lunch when we're done.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna hit the raid now.
See you guys next time.
Raid counter has started.
Later.
Raid counter has started. Have a good day, night, whatever time you're watching this, and have a great. And I'll see you next stream. Bye.
Wait, no, wait.
Ah.
Too late.
I just felt like doing that.